Hailstorm.
Welcome everybody to the CrossFire podcast. You couldn't be more true. And somebody in the chat just goes, Mooch, you're breathtaking. I'm like, no, you are. Fantastic. That was awesome. Listen, we got a great panel tonight, and I strategically put this panel together. This is a very opinionated panel. I've seen them all just kind of lash out all over Twitter on positive, negative things. I love it. That's why it's CrossFire. Let's get started. The one and only a Crap Gamer. Crap, how the hell are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. I'm happy to be here. I'm talk more about E3, and there's like I said, there's always the best part about E3 is the interviews after E3.
Agree.
And they did not disappoint. We've gotten so many interviews from Phil and all these other people, and then other kinds of people revealing things. I've been listening to Colin Moriarty stuff. I've listened to like 3.5 hours of his stuff today. Just great takes on stuff, man. I gotta say, like, so refreshing to hear, like, I guess what's considered a professional have some fantastic takes. So
right.
I can't wait to kind of talk about some of that stuff as well today.
Well, we're going to get into that for sure, Crap, and definitely that topic you just did. But I can't get into any topics without introducing Xbot448, who should be known as the most positive gamer on Twitter. Xbot, how the hell are you doing tonight?
What's going on, brother? What is going on, everybody in the chat? As you can see, this panel right here, this is absolute fire. I got to say what's up to all my Battletoads brethren out there. I know we are excited. Another Battletoads coming our way. Beat them up, baby. Let's go.
Is that the hill you want to die on today or not?
What? No, dude, I'm excited for Battletoads, man.
Okay, you about to get this work.
I'll tell you, it's going to be. I can't wait till we get to Battletoads. Trust me when I say that much, right?
That with the animation, that looks worse than the original Battletoads.
It looks like Saturday morning cartoon.
Haters.
Exactly. Here he comes. There he is. He introduced himself. Italian Clowns. How you doing down there in Florida, Clowns?
Hey, what's up? We're not syncing because Battletoads is coming out.
Hey, I hope not, buddy. I hope not. It's great to have you here, and I can't wait because I know Clowns is somewhat of a fan of it, so I can't wait to hear what he's got to say. And then we got, I know. They're out there. They're breeding. Listen, I got to say, I've got three amazing guests tonight. Three amazing guests. It's been a while since we got him back on here. I've claimed him as the funniest guy on YouTube and Twitter. All day digital, all day. Welcome back to the show, buddy. Great to have you tonight.
What's happening? I'm happy to be here, man. Let's get it popping. This shit's exciting.
Absolutely, buddy. And I know that you and I believe my next guest, I don't think you're going to go head to head, but I think there's going to be a little bit of conflicting here, just a little bit. And that's your buddy who also does Scumcast. Slow-mo backs up. Slow-mo, welcome back to the show, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm here. I got gameplay. I came with gameplay.
Let's go!
You better sit right here, slow-mo.
As long as you got game experience, slow-mo, you don't need gameplay. It's all good here, buddy. And then I've got my buddy here from New York who came last minute, but it wouldn't be the same without him. He's very opinionated. Noximus Knox, how the hell are you doing tonight?
Oh, man, chilling, my brother, bro. Ready to get it in, man. I didn't even get to, look at the topics. I had to come over to my brother's crib. I'm in my brother's house right now and shit, so I'm doing this here. I had to set everything up. So that's what took a little bit of time, but yeah, man, I can't wait, man. Let's get it.
Trust me, you're going to be just fine, just fine. And you know what? I'm going to start with Crap here, and then I'm going to go right to the guests. Crap. You kind of did quite a few videos this week and covered it, and I want to kind of just reiterate it. We talked about on Xbox Nation. That is, what is the after effect of E3 2019? There was a lot of ups and a lot of downs. I think the community as a whole is they're kind of at the 50-50. So what is it at the end of the day after the post interviews, now that E3 is officially over? What is it that we kind of took away, the positives and some of the negatives, and then I'll open it up to the panel.
For E3, I think that, the positives were, the Elite controller. I mean, there was some good games shown off for sure. I think, I don't know if Battletoads is like.
I'm not sure Battletoads makes the cut.
Yeah, I mean, Battletoads is what it is.
It is.
It is what we thought it is. So, for everything else,
I think. Best game ever.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, that's the that's typical Xbox game, to be honest with you. But I mean, for everything else, I think that there was some really good announcements. It was nice to see Bethesda come out there and do some stuff. Square did some stuff. The attendance wasn't necessarily down. Just a lot of people talking and having fun. I think the negatives were a little bit underwhelmed by Microsoft and what they had to show.
Yeah.
I think that I'm not alone in that regard as well. I don't think they had a terrible show. I just think that it was just underwhelming. It wasn't for whatever reason they had that empty net and and went wide with it, you know, like with their shot. So I'm not exactly sure what the thinking was for that.
He's taking your analogies. That was a good
Yo,
one.
he brought a hockey analogy.
Well, I mean,
That was
you know,
good.
well, all day. Let me ask you this, all day, and I'm not
Okay,
sure if
okay.
you made it to the floor, but I got to ask you. Did see a few people like Destin Legary was one. He said for some reason he tweeted this out. He goes, it feels like the E3 floor is just, even though it's sold out, he goes, it just feels like it's more empty this year. It feels less active. That's just another like sidebar conversation. But what was your overall take? Not just Microsoft, but E3 in general. Was there something missing this year? I mean, besides the obvious Sony not being there?
Right. To me, I just felt like through all the conferences that I watched and the little events, I just felt like there was less gameplay throughout the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't enough to grab me. Like even though Final Fantasy was my biggest thing of the whole show, but even that, it's already known. So a lot of stuff we knew about and we didn't see enough of. Like when Ubisoft stage, where the fuck was Beyond Good and Evil? You showed it 2 years in a row. Now you skip out and not show it at all.
Yeah, that's because the development just got that much longer, man. That's why
Right.
they don't want to say anything.
I'm just saying, it's just like overall, I mean, I was excited for a lot of stuff, but nothing really made me like, fuck, that was an amazing show. You know, not really, not for me.
Well, let me ask you this much though. Like when you said, you know, not a lot of gameplay showed, there was an article that was put out there, and I think some developers backed it up. I'm not 100% sure. If you guys know, please do correct me. But they said that developers are starting to feel at this point and stage of the game with all the media coverage and podcasting, and everybody's kind of got their eyes on these games, that they're feeling less inclined to show the games at E3 because of criticism. Isn't that a them problem?
Digital Foundry, baby.
Absolutely.
Slow-mo, you commented on that too. Like, isn't that kind of a them problem? I mean, realistically, we are the consumer. You always want to show your game. And a topic that's been hot, Slow-mo, is Gears 5. Don't show me escape. Don't show me multiplayer. You know, just like All Day used with his last example, we saw Gears last year on stage, and then this year we get no gameplay 3 months before. Something's wrong with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And they didn't even show the escape gameplay. They showed an escape with like, you know, like Mr. T's dad and some other guy with a mohawk and some other chick. And I'm just like, who are these people? I don't care. Like, show me the actual gameplay. Show me some gameplay from the campaign. You don't have to show a lot of it, but at least show us what the game like. They've been doing all this talk and all this chirping for the past year, saying, you know, Gears 4, we showed you that we could do it. Gears 5, we're gonna make it a little different. Well, show me why it's different, because I don't see anything.
The way they did it, it made me not give a fuck. I mean, the way you're treating this franchise is like it's on a back burner. Just let IGN have the gameplay, and we'll just show, you know, whatever. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Show a vertical slice of the campaign. You know it's going to look the best, run the best, right? So just show that. It could be 5 minutes, but we needed something to grab onto. And a game mode, nah, that ain't it.
Well, let me throw this at you, All Day, because I know that I see you on Twitter and you fight the good fight on the other side, All Day. I have a question, right? I think at the end of the day, I asked, Crap had done a show a week before, and he says, so Mooch, what is it you want to see? I said, I personally want to see 2 new IP, and I want to see Halo Infinite and Gears. And don't get me wrong. If I came at you right now and said, listen, at least we got an amazing showing from Halo and an amazing showing from Gears, you'd be like, here you go again. You know, the bot's saying, here we go again, Halo, Gears, and Forza. But the problem is that I told Crap at the end of the show when we were doing the review, I said, I got to be honest with you. I said, I didn't even get my Halo and my Gears. You know, I mean,
if you're going to give us the same meat, pause. It got to be cooked properly.
Right. Yeah. You know what kind of annoyed me was that new game mode, and maybe I'm the only one. I mentioned this earlier because I did a solo thing. It reminded me of Metal Gear Solid Survive, or that Metal Gear Survive thing. It's like cheesy, not the real characters. And I'm like, okay, like Gears is my favorite franchise. They said it's going to be more open world. It's changed so much, and just like they were saying, and I wanted to see the changes. Right, like, and they're literally on their roadmap aren't going to show any of the changes until September 6th, which is literally the day it releases for Ultimate Edition people.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense for me. Like, show me the
multiplayer. They said they don't want to ruin like the story. I guess they feel like there's nothing they
can
do. But All Day, I agree with you on that. Yo, it seems like with Microsoft's conference, every time there was a build up to where you're like, oh shit, we're getting into it now, they dropped the ball somehow. When it came to Gears, definitely should have had gameplay in there. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. The game comes out this year, people. For anybody who said that what they showed on stage was glorious or whatever, I don't know what you were looking at. I think the game is going to be great. But this was a chance with the game coming out in a few months to put the gameplay out there and show people what we got.
Well, what we saw from Gears was something we could have saw on Inside Xbox.
But let's not to mention we have more.
You saw more on Mixer.
Right, we have more of a screen time with Gears Pop.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we saw gameplay.
You know what I mean?
We saw gameplay. Oh shit!
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing that we talked
the
about.
worst footage of the Halo and Gears to show, in my opinion, right? Like,
I agree.
absolutely the worst footage. I feel like, you know.
Well, hold on. The beginning part when they did.
That was
little
fine,
thing,
but they
that
didn't
was cool.
expand on it.
But yeah, that's where I thought, I'm like, oh, here we go. They're showing her turmoil inside her with, what's going on with her bloodline. Got her friends over here. You got her mom over there. Like, I thought they were really going to go into it. And then I was like, what are they showing now?
That was a worthless trailer to me. I was just looking at this like, look, I don't care. Gameplay. Where is the gameplay at?
That's right.
I was just like, okay, all right. She's going through some stuff. I got it. But then the trailer kept going, and I'm just like, all right, let's hope this turns into gameplay, and then it didn't.
And don't get me wrong, there's no reason to take this from 0 to 10 like that. I mean, but a part of me just says we all know that we've all been paying attention to gaming, especially on this level for the past 5-6 years, the way we have. And generally, when a game isn't shown, sometimes it means there's a problem with the game. I don't know. I personally don't think there is.
This is why they should have shown gameplay, because I knew at some point in time, if they didn't throw that, if they didn't put the story up there or something like that, and it's a natural kind of like reaction.
It's a natural response.
What's going on? Like, what's wrong with it?
So what's wrong?
If you're not showing it until the 6th,
right?
And that's basically the day that early adopters get to go in and play the game, right?
Right.
Like, that's a natural conclusion. Well, what the hell is wrong with it? What are you trying to hide when it comes to this title?
And they are venturing out. We've heard Rod say that they're going to do different things in this Gears. I think they're going to do very similar to what God of War did with the boat. And it's not open world, but it becomes, choose your path and gives the player a little bit more freedom than a linear straight line like we were used to in Gears. So maybe they're running into an issue there. I don't know. Guys, correct me here. Gears 4 came out, was it 16?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And I mean, Crap, this is something that back in the day, me and Crap would bang heads on, because he would say, Mooch, 3 years is plenty of time. I almost felt like somebody probably went up to Rod and was like, can we rush this up a little bit?
I don't think they're rushing it at all. I hope not. They apparently I remember reading that thing. They started on Gears 5. Yep. Before Gears 4 even shipped.
I did read that. That is true.
And they're using Unreal Engine, so they don't got to build an engine. Like, how long does it take? And it's a huge team. It's hundreds of people up there. So, they got things going, man. I think that they wanted to get. I think they rushed Gears 4, right? I think that's true, but I think Gears 5 is going to be more, because the other Gears were on a 3-year cycle too, or I believe, or 2-year cycle or something like that. But I think that Gears 5 could be good, but you can't say everything's changed with the game and it's different. We have this more open world and then not show us any of it, right? Like that's not a smart thing to do, because you got Gears fanatics like me. I got a freaking Gears tattoo, right? And I'm weary of this game because why are they hiding the I love the campaigns, Yeah. And now they're like changing the lead character and the direction, and it's supposed to be so different, more open world. Well, show it to me. Let me see a little bit to see how much has changed. Let me see a little bit of this open world.
Well, if anybody asks you about your tattoo, just tell them it's a Nathan Drake one.
Oh,
He's
trying to get great. Get a crate next to it.
What you guys have to realize here, right, is that your man Snake Oil Filskis, right?
Oh, no.
He don't care about the hardcore Xbox gamer. He's shown it and proven it time and time again. He doesn't. He cares about the children. He's like Jesus. Jesus loves the little children, right? So
Phil's got the whole world in his hands.
Yeah, that's what he wants. He wants Game Pass out there. He wants you to subscribe. If you want to buy a box here, we're throwing one together for you. I know he recently did an interview, right, where he's saying like, yeah, we're in it to win it and blah, 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 right? Bullshit. Show me you in it to win it, my dude, because you haven't.
Yeah, but I think as
ahead,
gaming
clowns.
expands, though.
Holy
you know,
shit, it's clowns.
Yeah, as gaming expands, though, more casuals are coming in, and there's going to be less hardcore overall. So I think that's the consensus amongst most game companies right now. So they want to pull everybody in.
But guys, clowns, like, doesn't anybody see, like, and I get it with digital games. I know we've been doing it, right? Whoever has gone digital, I know it's happening, but now they're taking away all physical ownership of these properties, bro. We no longer own our games. We're going to no longer own our consoles either, bro. If they have it their way, you're paying $120 a year, which is the price of a console and Xbox Live if you add them up throughout the course of a freaking generation, right? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Yeah.
I think we're like 2 generations though before we go full streaming. I don't think it's going to happen overnight.
No doubt. I agree with you. It's a good 15 to 20 years away, but it's still their ultimate goal, and I'm not with it. I'm really not.
Well, here's the thing.
Hey, I want to say something real quick, okay? Because like I said, I was listening to, and you guys might remember Colin Moriarty. He was at IGN. He did Kind of Funny Games before he made a joke and then got kicked off that show or whatever. He does his own podcast. It's actually pretty popular. It's Sacred Symbols or something like that. And I was listening to it, and he was talking about, and he went. They reviewed the entire Xbox E3, which he was very positive about the whole E3. But a couple of the sticking points that he made were things that kind of bugged me too. He's like, Phil Spencer comes out and mentioned this 2 billion gamers. He like, that's so disingenuous. It's so BS. It's such a PR speak. He's like, there's not 2 billion gamers. He goes, he might be talking about like these phone people or people playing Candy Crush or Facebook or something. He goes, there's 200, 300 million hardcore gamers at most, and trying to get this 2 billion thing is really just PR. It's just nonsense. It's this number that they're never going to reach. Nobody's ever going to reach this number, right? He's like, it's crazy. He says Sony, Microsoft, nobody's reaching this number. Yeah, he's like, so I love the fact that he called Phil out on this, and I have to do the same thing, right? Like, they're talking about this number, but the reality is there's 200 to 300 million hardcore people ready to buy your box, and Phil So comes out and says, we don't really care about selling the box because that's not how we make money. Dude, do you not understand? If you sell a shit ton of boxes, you sell a shit ton of hardware or software too. It's ipso facto. You know what I'm saying? It's like one brings the other.
Crap. He's looking at the Windows 10 family too. You got to remember that. Remember that term you started a long time ago?
It's a joke.
Yeah, but he's looking at the whole picture now. Like every Windows 10 installation, every PC out there,
they're not going to. Yeah, but they're not
still not 2 billion gamers.
That's still not.
And you're not going to. If you want to reach those 2 million mobile users, you're going to have to provide the kind of material that they consume. They don't play the games we play, bro.
Think about
That's why
this,
they're making Gears pop.
Add it up, right? Add it up. If you add it up, right? 100 million PS4s. If you add up the Steam accounts, what are there? 75 million. 175. And then you add up the Switch and 250 million, 275 million hardcore gamers right there. That's the number.
I know you guys are not going to, think this is even physically possible or going to happen, but the gaming industry did say they want to reach third world countries with mobile phones. So I think that they're trying to tap into those markets too.
Well, okay, that's really not going to happen if they're trying to do XCloud in a third world country when they're running on like 2G, 3G networks.
Yeah. I know, but that's what they're alluding to and all the analytical speak that they're doing.
You know what? It would make perfect sense that Microsoft would think they can do that, considering how badly they market their Xbox product internationally. I would 1000% agree with you that's exactly the kind of dumb nonsense they actually think is going to work. That's not going to work. It's just not. If you want to, you need to go low tech. If you want to get to third world countries, actually marketing your actual hardware that could work in their country where they can play the game and don't have to worry about, my internet is flaky and I only get five megs up and down on a good day. Like,
I would love to get 5 up.
Wow.
Right? I'm not even in a third world country, man. I can't get no 5 up.
Really sinking?
No, dude, there's only one internet provider here.
Bicycles before you get online.
Exactly, dude. I'm telling you, that's why I laugh at all this stuff, right? Like, I have 4G, but I can't, like, when I drive to like my girl's house or whatever, it's like 20 minutes, I get no reception whatsoever, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Bust a Move in the chat says the
I
PC
saw a
community
bear the
started-
other week when I went home from Crossfire. A
says-
bear.
The PC community started calling Phil the
Everybody
postman
just
because he's always
crap.
delivers from now. So I mean, I gotta be honest with you guys. My other issue with E3 though, besides that, was I thought we would see. We were promised 2 hours. We got an hour and 36 minutes. Secondly, XCloud comes on stage and it was basically just and XCloud. Next slide. And I'm like, all right, what about XCloud? They didn't get into it. They didn't talk about it. No pricing, no nothing. Okay. Then they go and they do the Project Scarlet. And my problem with this was the presentation they gave for the X back in 2017, or before that, was it 2016 for the 2017 release or 2017 for the 2017 release, whatever it was. That monster bit they did wasn't bad. It was actually pretty funny. And it was necessary.
But don't rehash
But now
it, man.
it's the same bit. It's like if I had everybody here tonight. Join us for a brand new Crossfire. We're doing a roundtable review, and then all I do is play last week's Crossfire. It doesn't
For
work
real.
that way.
For real.
Shout out to
again,
Ash and Luca. Luca, what's up? Great to have her in the chat.
like I said, every time they built up and you're like, oh shit, they're about to get into it, they dropped the ball somewhere. It was Gears. It was when it came to Project Scarlet as well. Because who the hell wanted to see the same commercial, that was for Project Scorpio, just done over again?
I told you that we're gonna do that.
I know. You already said that like 4 times to me, brother.
I
Like,
just
I
want
told
to reiterate.
I
that
told you.
I told you they were gonna do that. I said they're
I
gonna
was
do the
like, man,
same
no,
exact thing. And they did.
no, man. And yeah, they did.
Well, what do you think, though, Knox? I mean, did any of that, like myself personally,
Listen,
I'm in the mood. I wanted to buy Scarlet.
I'm-
It wasn't a great sales pitch.
no, Xbox's E3 was an 8 out of 10. If you like Game Pass and PC, it was an 8 out of 10. If you're a console gamer, it was a 4.
Yeah.
I like it all.
I-
It was 8 out of 10 for me.
I like this, man. Listen, and hold on. Busta Move 89 says the PC community have started calling Phil the postman because he always delivers for them now. And look, listen, I Mooch, we did the live show during the show, so we had no sound on. I went back and rewatched it with sound on. The crowd is the quietest they've ever been when they start talking about PC.
Yes,
They literally could not care. They look like they're about to fall asleep. Like they really catered to the PC crowd. I don't understand it. I know Phil's like, we're all gamers. But the PC crowd likes their own thing. They have their own show.
Right.
I don't understand why they're so obsessed with, you got to mix it, like throwing them together, like trying to mate them into some unholy union, right? Like, dude,
That's because
leave it alone.
That's because Phil, Mikey Barr, and a bunch of other Xbox, employees are PC gamers as well. You know what I'm saying? When you look
Good for them.
I think it goes beyond that, though. I really do. I think the emphasis here is that Microsoft, as time goes on, is they made their pitch. We said this a while ago, crap. Phil made a pitch to Satya. It was that we're gonna, in order for Xbox to get the funding it was going to get, they were going to do and utilize every single bit of Microsoft services. And that was why I put that into the title. I guess we can kind of combine the two. I feel like Game Pass, everyone's like, Mooch, Game Pass is a great value. And that's not debatable anymore, right? I mean, they're offering it for $1 right now. I mean, all those games, first party games, but I almost feel like Xbox is doing something. And I want everyone to think about this. They're almost making Game Pass a necessity. And you're probably saying, what do you mean? I don't have to buy that. I can buy whatever games I want and I'll play the one game I want. Absolutely. But don't think even the person that says that doesn't think that, wow, maybe I should not buy them the way I traditionally did. I should sign up for the $1 or like Knox does, wait for the 3 months for whatever the deal is. Or maybe I should just jump in and pay the $10 a month. I'm getting such a great service anyway. But realistically, they want everybody into this model. So it's almost like the offer's so good that they're kind of saying, we're making this so good, you're insane to pass up on it. So now, instead of spending $60 a year or $120 a year for a casual, now you're paying $120 a year indefinitely, and that's how you'll game with Xbox. They've got you as the same way the cable companies got you, the same way the cell phone companies got you, right? It is the same model. They're kind of making it so good that it's a necessity. They're kind of crap. You know this, and actually, you're a victim as well. You said I'm not going to do Game Pass. You've got Game Pass for 3 years.
Yeah, well, the reason why I got Game Pass was
necessity.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say was because I was buying everything, right? And their games are so disappointing lately or mediocre, and I was wasting $40-$60 here or there. I'm getting married now. I'm trying to be a little bit more responsible. I don't want to waste 40 and 60 bucks on these terrible games, especially with, you know, when I can just Game Pass them and play them. And the funny,
terrible. Damn.
oh my God, they're so, dude. There's some of these games are so bad. I know there's fans of stuff like State of Decay 2, but those people should, you know, I don't know, play some real games for a change.
All right, State of Decay 2 wasn't my bag, but when it came to Sea of Thieves with all the updates,
I like Sea of Thieves now, right?
Really
I like
game,
it now.
Man.
It
so
is,
it's not
but it's
terrible.
Not good, man. That game is.
But look at
that game is
I'm just saying.
pretty. It's not good. It's
good.
pretty. It's nice.
It's
to look
great.
at, though.
People, it's good. Go download it right now. Right now.
It's just, you know, it's just, you know, like the Recores, the Halo Wars 2, these little tiny these AA games, you know, I'm not a fan of them, you know, and so Game Pass makes sense. I always thought it was funny because I saw this Phil interview that he just did, and he was like bragging about, we started off the show with 4 first-party games, and I'm looking back, I'm like, what the hell were these 4 for? They started off with Outer Worlds, and then it clicks. Phil doesn't give a shit if these are exclusive to Xbox. If they're made by his studio, that's all he cares about. He doesn't care.
He's going to call it first party because they just recently acquired them, and yeah, those games are coming out. They're killing kind of like 2 birds with 1 stone. People are like,
Recore was not good, Anime Heaven. Recore was not good.
I'm talking like the Outer Worlds and stuff. Like, oh, you're talking to somebody else. All right, gotcha.
Yeah.
But when it came to the 4 games that they acquired a studio. So for people who are saying they don't have enough studios, to make first party content, they got that bird, right? But they also have games now that, even though they are multi-plat, are going to be day and date in this Game Pass subscription service as well.
Let me ask you a question.
Mooch, you said about multi-plats going into Game Pass
right.
day and date, brother.
Well, and that's the thing. Xbox, I was going to give you credit for bringing that back up on Wednesday night. I'll say it again here. Is that I had said games like Evil Within 2, these they're AAA games, but they're on the B list, right? And you might go, well, I love that game. I loved Evil Within 2. But Evil Within 2 it went from $60 to $30 in 3 weeks. So my point being is that you got these games. What Xbox saying, and he's right, and it was what I was saying, but I didn't think they would go to that extent, is they're going out, they're purchasing these kind of B AAA teams, and they're putting them right in the Game Pass. Now, my question to you guys on the panel in the chat is, do you think when Outer Worlds, not Outer Worlds 2, but the next game that's made by, was it Obsidian?
Next game's going to be Xbox platform.
Do you think that'll be just Game Pass and PC and Steam?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean by Xbox platform, because now the Xbox platform consists of the console, consists of the PC, and consists of XCloud. That's going to be the platform.
That's my question. Is that where we're going?
So they got the multi-plat because they were acquiring them. They were developing a game already. So they put that under, with their publishing, but still a multi-plat. Goes day and day in the Game Pass.
Because it's testing the waters, it's testing the waters.
No, I don't agree with that.
It's testing the waters. It's not a coincidence that all these
just seems like so many people want Xbox development team.
He said it though. He said, look, Minecraft Dungeons is day and date on PlayStation and Switch and all of that too. Bro, they're testing the waters. If they can put Gears on PlayStation, they absolutely will, bro.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Dude, he's testing
hey,
the waters.
listen, guys. I can end this conversation. They're like, listen, Knox is right. Psychonauts had a publisher. Microsoft bought the fucking publishing rights for $13 million, and they're still putting it on PlayStation. Wasteland 3. Yep. Wasteland 3 going on PlayStation 4. We just saw Colin Moriarty's on good grounds. He knows that Microsoft was shopping Master Chief Collection to PlayStation 4, and he predicted in the next 2 to 3 years Microsoft will publish games fully on PlayStation 5.
I don't doubt.
So I don't doubt it either. If you ask me, hey, crap, look, I'm looking at this article right now. Banjo-Kazooie Switch port in the making, according to Amazon Germany. Why the fuck is Banjo-Kazooie showing up as a Switch game on Amazon Germany?
Yeah,
but it's
that's my thing, right? It doesn't say if it's just called Banjo-Kazooie. So it could be a port of the original. It could be a new one.
It could just be a port. But still, it's still their first party title, right? And they'll still put it in. They will do this. They are not afraid to explore that avenue.
I do agree with you guys.
This might be a good thing for us, bro. At the end of the
Well,
day,
I think at the end of the day, right, they're going to buy these companies. A good friend of ours, Richie, in the chat. Shout out to Richie. Richie's a huge PlayStation guy. Doesn't own anything Xbox. He's all PlayStation, and he says, "Hey guys, I'll play Outer Worlds on my PS4." You know, like
Okay.
but
absolutely.
Microsoft's okay with that too.
Of course they are. They want you to.
It
They
was
want
a
you to
game
play.
that was being
LG
developed.
Nemesis brings up. Hold on, LG Nemesis brings up a good point. He says Frank O'Connor literally came out and shut the Halo coming to PS4 down. Hold on, he didn't really do that. He didn't do that though. What he said was he wasn't aware of corporate. He's not involved in the corporate talk, but they didn't start on any code. That's very telling.
They didn't see a single line of code. In other words, meaning they didn't build a game that would run on a PlayStation is what that
Yeah,
means.
but I never know. But it wasn't said that it was doing that. It said that Microsoft shopped it.
He said they were in
to
PlayStation.
PlayStation.
I think
right?
Colin was alluding
In
to they were
discussion.
in discussion, and it was a sales pitch at a table.
Yeah.
You're not going to get into code at that point. Let me just take a quick second and say to everybody, thank you for being here. Hit the like button, guys. Tweet it out. Let people know we're here. There's a lot of you guys in the chat. Let people know. Tweet it on Twitter. Let me say a shout out to Predator too. We had two great conversations going on. I had mine going on with the whole Game Pass is a necessity, but that was a great. And we will get back to the Colin Moriarty stuff, crap. But Pred says Microsoft getting you hooked on the crack now. So in 2 years, you feel like you need to have it. Addiction game 101. Cheap, free product. Then boom, you are hooked.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. I feel like they're making it.
Why do
They're
you think
making it
Google's
so that
getting
game.
into it? Why
But
do you
hear me
think
out.
Sony wants to try to get
That's
into
not.
it as well?
No. Well, yeah, exactly, to a certain extent. But Microsoft has got Game Pass as a necessity right now. There's people who will literally say to you and scream to you, be like, "Are you telling me it's not a value?" No, I'm telling you it is a great value. But
Yeah.
much like Pred's saying, once you get hooked on it and you go, "Wow, I have this big library of games."
Microsoft's
they
going
do-
to coast it.
What did you say all day?
They're going to coast it.
Yep, they are. And that's the
Mhm.
thing. So you see what I'm saying? I mean, all day you have to. This is what my thought process is. They're making it an offer you can't refuse. Okay,
Right.
but by the time this is all said and done, it'll be an offer that you have to accept.
Right.
Right?
And I think the price
Right.
will go up too eventually. To be honest with you.
Absolutely.
Well,
And then you
well,
can't
know, like,
revert back.
The
And you
price
the
can't
thing is
revert
that
back.
there's no reason why you have to stay on it, and like I think
we
That's
don't.
right. That's right.
for a lot, like if you take me for instance, I already had through like using stuff like Xbox rewards. I already had like up to 2021 for Xbox Live already locked in. So when I did the $1 Game Pass Ultimate, I now have Game Pass Ultimate to March 2021. Now
Right,
I'm
yeah,
looking
but
at that
I think you can't revert back though, Slow-Mo.
hey, I will.
Well, it doesn't matter. He doesn't have
for
to.
them. That doesn't matter to me because
No, but I'm saying, like,
if the games
3
aren't
years.
worth it, I can just shut it down and I'll just play my stuff on PS5. I'll be good. So for me, it doesn't matter that I can't revert back. They better show up and they better show up with games by 2021. I need to be feeling like, yeah, I am getting my money's worth for this $15 per month.
Hey,
Right.
Slow-Mo, so you're saying wait till 2021 E3.
Oh hell no! I'm not.
But you
No,
know what I
I
always said?
hear
I
you.
always thought, like for me personally, in my household, Game Pass appeals to the kids in my household, not for me. And I think that's what they want.
Yeah.
Well,
'cause they
Game
want
Pass-
your kid. They want the next generation of gamers
Right.
hooked on it.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's absolutely that's what they catered to. All those indies they showed. Come on, bro. After that whole thing with freaking Keanu Reeves showing up after Cyberpunk trailer, and then you're gonna go like 20-minute indie? Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Well,
you know who
Microsoft
loved
had-
it?
Microsoft-
My 12-year-old daughter loved it. She really, and she did. She was calling shit out that I didn't even. Oh shit, you know that? I didn't even know that existed. What is that? Like some Dragon Ball.
Oh, Knox, you're getting old, brother.
And this is
Yeah, I am.
This is a talking point that kind of hugs the same category, and I'm really anxious. I've pitched this to Crap 3-4 times in a row. I'm interested to hear Knox and Slow-Mo, Clowns, and all day on this. I also think it's imperative. It is absolutely imperative that Microsoft retains the power crown. And you guys are probably going to go, Mooch, are we past this? It's not about power. It's about games. You're right. But hear me out. If the PS5 does, for some reason, nudge out a power victory going into next generation, that means people that are on the fence on Xbox or maybe even in limbo between the two consoles, they will go PS5 for their third-party games, right? And now Microsoft's telling you that you could play Xbox everywhere. Now, again, I don't think any of this conversation affects Microsoft. They don't care if you play on PC, a phone, a tablet, a console. They don't care. But what I'm saying to you is I think ultimately it puts the console in a bit of jeopardy if Microsoft doesn't retain the power crown. Because if they do, and all day you know this, right? We both know a lot of PlayStation gamers.
Right.
They're primarily PlayStation, but they went and bought an X because they said, I'm going to play the better multi-plat on the console that plays it best.
Right.
So
Right.
I think it's imperative. Do you see what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
see how I think that's where the power crown holds a bit of clout moving into next
If
generation.
you're gonna do with games, you gotta have some type of hook.
Right. Give me some hook.
The hook is going to
Right.
be ray tracing, guys, and
What
I'm
the fuck?
still.
Are
No,
you trolling?
check this out.
They're
Check this
both
out.
gonna have
I-
that.
I've been looking into this. I'm not like I there's certain things when it comes to ray tracing, certain like information I got. And I'm trying to break down exactly what it means. But if you talk to like Sony guys when it comes to PlayStation 5, they're talking ray tracing graphics, ray trace graphics, which is something different than if you're using it for the light illumination and everything like that. I got to look more into it, but from what I'm hearing, the Scarlet has a more well-rounded kind of like ray tracing platform to the point where you're going to see a lot more of that in games where
So why not
PlayStation
mention
5 it might pass.
Why not mention this during E3 week?
Yeah, dude, you're preaching to the choir on a
They
lot.
didn't have
of
to
things,
get into
man.
specifics. They don't
No.
have to give away what's under the hood. But
No,
mention
but you're preaching to
something.
the choir, man. Like, yeah, I said, I told you guys, I actually got a ticket for the conference for Xbox's
Right.
conference, and I said I'm not going until 2020, and I said this before, anything. I feel that 2020 with having the new hardware there, where it's on the floor, you can play it, having the launch lineup on the stage
Xbox.
at E3. That's the jam right there, man.
Well, Portal Player in the chat, he says they will both almost be the same power. They both will be powerful. Here's the thing, Portal Player. I'm saying this. If they're really close, like that one ridiculous rumor came out and said one's going to have 9.25 teraflops, one's going to have 9.75. That's a wash. But I think Microsoft has to beat them. They have to trump them by like what the original specs were, 14 to 12, right? It has to give an edge because if you can play your Xbox games everywhere by this October,
You're not
then
buying it.
why am I buying a Scarlet?
Right.
Because you are a console gamer at the end
But
of
the
the
thing
day.
is,
You
though,
don't need
but
it.
Xbox, I can play on my TV
but-
still with the device. Any
all right,
device.
if that's the case, if that's the route you want to go.
No. I'm not
you
speaking
also-
for me. I'm speaking for the masses.
No,
And
but
I'm
I
just
don't
wondering,
think-
is that what people will think?
I don't think you can speak for the masses on this. This
Well,
is
I'm
something
not.
that
I'm
that
asking
we
the
don't
question
know.
for the masses.
No, but I think it's something that we don't know. At the end of the day,
Of course we
there
don't know.
There are dedicated console people that even if you can stream it to your TV or to something, they're looking to get that hardware next to their TV. And I feel like the way that Xbox is looking at that, for those people, they are going to have a console. And I heard what Knox said before. He was like, "Yeah, they'll throw a console together for you. Here you go." But if you look at what they're doing with the hardware, if you look at their research and development, and Knox, I know you probably didn't mean this, but they didn't just throw something together. There was research and development. There is going to be. It's going to be a nice piece of hardware. It's not just something that they're throwing together for those people on the side who just can't let go.
But listen, there's a lot of hardcore Xbox guys that were at E3, right? They were there, and they said basically that they were quite impressed with XCloud. So what I'm saying to you though is, if these are going to be $500-$600 boxes, right? $500 at least. So if that's the case, at the end of the day, not many people are going to walk in and be like, "Let me get one of each. I got $1,000 just hanging out in my pocket." So if they can go and get a PS5, and then the Xbox One X is going to be playing a lot of the first games that come out, and the Xbox One X is already doing 4K 60. What I'm saying is you already have dedicated hardware. You can use that to stream games. You can use that to play games on. You've got a PC in your house. You have a phone in your hand right now, right? I mean,
I just think I think with the CPU,
I think it needs to be much more powerful. You have to get people to
listen.
come over
It's
to
not.
Xbox.
Neither one of these things are going to be much more powerful. And Phil Spencer said at E3 that you're not going to see this big graphical leap in. You know what I mean? And I read an article today in Industry Biz that says this is going to be the most boring generation change that we've ever experienced, because we're not going to get this graphical change that we're used to. It's going to be about like fluidity and stuff like that. So like we're sitting here talking about ray tracing and God rays, like
Right.
Ray tracing, if you talk to a developer, ray tracing means a lot more than
and even if
No, it does.
No. Listen, first of all, anybody here, they're already using, both these companies are using the buzzwords 8K, 120 frames. How many of you guys think that we're going to see 8K games at 120 frames?
That's something they need to stop, right? They need to stop trying to beguile the masses like if we're morons. 8K, 120 frames per second. It cooks your eggs.
I don't know.
Go shopping. Get out of here.
Can we just get 60 frames?
Can we get 60 frames, please?
Can we just get 60 frames across the board for all games first before we get 120?
Hold on, guys. You're talking about gullible, but not for anything when it comes to Sony. Dynamic 4K. I mean, a lot of people.
Yeah, they've been G and dudes.
They go for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Let me say shout out to Surex Man real quick. He says, "Isn't it funny how it seems like Sony executives stick to brand loyalty and Microsoft executives seem like they don't care about brand loyalty?" I mean, it's funny because Surex Man, I wouldn't go that far because I think that they're definitely loyal to their brand. The thing is that they don't care where you play their brand, and that's been their pitch, and that's fine.
Yeah. But I have to disagree, Mooch, and
go ahead.
This is why. Because if Sony's doing these things too, right? Sony's doing these things too. On the sneak tip, they're doing it on the low. They're not putting it out there, but they're doing it. But what they're also doing is they are catering to their hardcore gamers by putting the products that they want to play. They're putting them games. Like I told Bot, PS5, you know why I'm in? The next God of War, the next Spider-Man, the next Horizon, the next Death Stranding, the next anything they put out, the next Uncharted. Just on that premise alone, I'm in on PS5.
Next Death Stranding, you didn't even play the first
That's
one.
right, but I know it's going to be good.
Check this out, though. You know that they're going to cultivate.
That's brand loyalty right there.
Guys. Here's the thing. You know that. I'm going to say, you know that Sony's going to have great exclusives. That's what they do. Nintendo too, right? Like they're known for these things. Microsoft is the odd one out because they're not known for cultivating great exclusives or giving games a chance if they tend to fail or don't live up to some kind of expectation. Yeah, my big problem with this is, and they have these new studios, and you can tout Studio A or Studio B or Studio C or D or F or whatever kind of gobbledygook you want to talk about, but it's all nonsense to me because from what we've seen so far at this E3, the games that these new studios have aren't AAA, except for Obsidian's, I guess, and that's not an exclusive and was already, and they're already signed for a sequel if this is successful, where that will all, they've already commented and say that would be multi-plat as well. So when are we going to see some exclusive AAAs? Microsoft, as yet, haven't proven that they're willing to make AAA games and invest and advertise these games if they aren't Halo, Gears, and Forza. And these new studios, a lot of them AA. Microsoft isn't taking any kind of stance with them to make them develop something. So why would a AA studio suddenly, with a little bit more money, make a AAA game? Like, you know, like
we got caught in a shell shock moment, and when it comes to development, that can be for quite a while. You're talking about them not investing a lot of money in these big AAA games. They invested a lot of fucking money into Rise. They invested a lot of money into Sunset Overdrive. They invested a lot of money into
and then gave up on them.
And what the hell happened? And you even said it. You said the community didn't support them.
That's
no matter what.
Hey, you have to look. Yeah, you have to look at it too. They hardly had any Xboxes in the wild at that point. Everybody hated Xbox, and instead of looking at it and go, "This is something we could cultivate. A sequel would be a hit." Instead of saying that, what they did was
that's where I'll agree with you, man.
Yeah, we're not gonna, we're not gonna make another one. And now there's a rumor that even with Quantum, it looks like there's a rumor right now that Sony's looking to buy Remedy Entertainment and some other studios, right? So what a slap in the face that would be. Remedy makes a good fit with Sony. You know why? Because they make story-driven games.
Story-driven third person.
Imagine they take Alan Wake with them, and Sony fucking lets them do an Alan Wake 2. Holy shit, right? What a slap in the face that would be. And you know what? And I'm not sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure there's some other quote-unquote Xbox YouTubers that'll tell you this. Phil Spencer's not a Remedy fan. He's not an Alan Wake fan.
Right.
right? So that's the reason why we never got a sequel, because he doesn't like the series.
Crap,
which I think is ridiculous.
Says, stop being down on Microsoft. All you guys have to do is wait till next E3.
Fuck you.
Yo, how many times do we gotta keep hearing? Wait till the next E3. Wait till the next E3. Wait till you're 40 years old. Wait till you're a senior citizen. Wait till your kids can play the games. Wait till your grandkids can play the games. Wait till your freaking ancestors. What the hell are you wrong with you? I'm tired of being told to wait for games. I'm still talking. Hold on. I'm sick and tired of being told to wait for games. I'm a gamer. I want to play now. I'm tired of waiting. We've been waiting for years. How long are y'all guys gonna fucking wait for this?
But dude, when it comes down to it,
look, all year since last E3 was great, right? All year. Oh, this is next E3 2019 gonna be a bomb. They said it's gonna be great. They said it's gonna be awesome. They said if you like last year, you're gonna really love this year. What happened?
And the funny part is next year, if they go, because you have to expect them to, I guess, show Fable, right? But the thing is, like, this year, everybody's like, well, crap, they only just bought these studios a year ago. Why would you expect them to have anything? And I can tell you this right now, if they bomb and don't show shit next year, those same idiots that are telling me that now are the same. They're gonna go, they've only bought them 2 years ago, crap. Wait till next E3 is when they're really gonna bring it.
Well, it takes normally 5 to 6 years to make a really good game. So we have to wait till 2024.
Look, they're even spacing out their own games. Look at Gears. That comes out in September. You're getting bits and slices of it now. Come on.
Shout out to Luca.
I know you're being sarcastic. I was being sarcastic.
No, he's actually referring to Luca goes, slow-mo doesn't have to wait long. He's already a senior citizen. Fix them knees, son.
You know what, Luca? That's okay. That is okay. You know what? I'm pretty sure Luca was typing that on her computer, and she had to like get on a high chair in order to type it on on her keyboard and whatnot.
She had to run and slide to his space bar. I mean, come on.
Listen, shout out to Rock Dog. Rock Dog is a big Xbox fan. Says, please don't wait until next E3. Go with Sony and leave Xbox behind. Rock, the problem is that I kind of want to just explain a little bit to get back on subject here for a moment. Like we saw Rod last year, not this E3, but last E3, get on stage and tell us that Gears 5 is within reach. 2019. We saw I don't know if Bonnie Ross came on stage, right? Well, Bonnie Ross came on stage, and either she did or somebody from 343, and they're like, "This is our Halo experience, an open world. We have a new engine. We've got wildlife. We've got this. You're gonna be able to play with multiple Spartans and this and that." And they should, right? This year seemed to regress. It seemed to take a step back. Here we are closer to each of these launches, and we got no campaign from Gears and Halo. Yes, don't get me wrong. Whether you like the cinegraphic or what, that's up to you guys. I myself personally thought it was a bit of a step backwards, but I thought that we should have seen some of that open world. What about that wildlife? What about that exploration? What about there's novels upon novels of Halo out there?
Don't you think the game footage they showed, the trailer they showed for Halo this year should have been shown last year?
Yes, they should have reversed the two.
They should have reversed it.
The reason why they thought that what they showed was a progression, because that was actually the beginning of the game.
Did you read Rock Dog's thing?
No,
yes, I did.
He says, please don't wait until next E3. Go with Sony and leave Xbox behind. Listen, you don't have to. I mean, most of us are gamers here. We'll probably, like us particularly, will get both. I think Microsoft could have had a year full of hype to get people excited. Holy shit, I can't wait till that next Xbox, man. Those new games are looking fire, right? They could have almost had a 360-esque jump without even releasing it, having people just salivating, looking at these amazing next-gen games, and wow, holy shit, Microsoft is for real, right?
Hey, hold on, crap. Can I say something real quick? I see some people in the chat that got a little triggered with my outbursts, and they think I'm crying. What I'm actually doing, I'm actually trying to reach into your thick brains and to help you understand where I'm coming from. You are the ones that are waiting for games, okay? I'm not waiting for games. I have a PlayStation. I have a Switch. I'm playing games all the damn time. I am always playing games. You're still waiting on games. So
we're
if
not.
you want to exit cold where I'm doing
We're
crying,
not waiting on anything.
I'm
brother.
enjoying my gaming. You're still waiting for something.
Hold on,
You're waiting for
Feel like to keep it waiting.
hold on. First off, people on Xbox are not waiting for games. If you take E3 as a whole, putting Doom Eternal, the multiplats and stuff like that, I am gonna have plenty of games to hold me over for I don't know how long.
Yeah, but Xbox.
Bro, you only play Destiny. What are you talking about?
But Xbox, you got to be honest.
I got 72 days in Halo 5 as well, man.
We said this for years before. I'll say it again. We said this for years. If it's a multi-plat, third-party game, you can't say I've got a lot of games.
Why not?
They're everywhere.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to be a part of like the console war competition.
It's not console war.
It's not console wars.
We
got
Hey, hold on. Wait a minute.
Can I finish? Real quick. As a gamer, all right, I am not waiting for games. I am not one of these people that is put in a pen where, oh man, I just really want that single player heavy story narrative and all that good stuff. Like I don't like yearn for the blueprint of first party games. I'm not one of those people. When it comes to Ninja Theory doing something different, thinking out of the box, I'm for it. I want to try that out. When it comes to Battletoads, guess what? I do like smaller cartoony games as well. When it comes to Halo, I'm definitely interested in seeing exactly what they are doing with Halo. To me, I don't have a lack of games. I don't know what this lack of games
I think you're
talking about, man.
I think
sick.
Have you ever heard this saying? Somebody goes, I could be around a lot of people and feel completely alone. I have 800 and something games, and I feel like literally been there, done that. There's nothing that's really appealing to me right now on Xbox.
That's
why I'm not.
Problem,
I understand, but it's not just a me problem. There's a reason why Xbox is bringing up the rear. And when you look at the games that people are playing and want to play, nobody's getting excited. Nobody's freak. Did you see the Banjo-Kazooie announcement for the Switch? Those people are screaming. When was the last time Xbox fans have something like that to cheer about? I've never seen Xbox fans cheer about that.
Xbox fans to cheer.
At what? At what?
No, it's not up to us to generate excitement on games that aren't getting them excited. It's not like you have to fake that.
Just real
quick. They need to provide the kind of games that the Xbox community is going to pop for. When you look at Square Enix and they came out with the Final Fantasy VII remake, that kind of excitement at the gameplay, the fact that they actually nailed it, they actually nailed having a modern style gameplay while also maintaining the old school turn-based combat system, like that kind of enjoyment is something that the Xbox community is waiting to get from games.
I don't need an Xbox to play the games that Xbox talking about. That's the problem.
Yo, I got shunned for saying that I'm hyped for Battletoads from the same people that hold on, can I finish? For the same people that were hyping in the chat Medieval coming out soon. All right? And it's like, yo, dude, how are you going to tell me I can't get hyped up for that game?
You can.
But you are getting hyped up for that game. At the end of the day,
no, nobody's saying you can't.
No, Xbox, you can.
No one's saying you can't be hyped for that, man.
You can be hyped.
To me, I feel like I don't have a core.
You can be hyped. I'm just
one more point I'm gonna put out there, and then I'm gonna lay back for a little bit. All right, if Ninja Theory was bought by PlayStation and they came out with this whole bleeding edge thing, you would see PlayStation fans jumping through the rafters on how hyped they are. Ninja Theory and their Melee online multiplayer, they would be crazy hyped about it. But it's on Xbox now, and there's a lot of Xbox fans.
The difference, the difference on that though is you've got Medieval coming out between. They've had a hit game come out every 6 months to a year for a while now. But when you have Battletoads come out, no one should ever deter you from your excitement at all. But at the same time, the reason that you're hearing this bit of a critique is there's been nothing since, 2015, no new IP since 2015.
Yeah, Microsoft hasn't announced a new IP, a new AAA IP since 2015.
So you hear Bleeding Edge and you're like, well, that's good, but that's not it. You know what I mean? Like, that's not it.
And that's where I'm saying the community being critical, because if we switched around, if it was in the other farmhouse, I'm telling you, the farmers, the roosters, everybody would be
But
jumping.
that's because they got more
for
chicken.
joy.
They got more chickens in that
Here's the
farmhouse.
thing, though. Here's the thing, though. If they're hey, let me tell you this,
True.
Xbox. Here's the thing, because they would release Bleeding Edge between Death Stranding and the fucking Last of Us 2,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
is where it belongs, right? Which is where that kind of
Yeah.
AA game belongs. Microsoft is going to release it fucking
As the
probably
main
by
attraction.
itself.
Mi-
Yeah, as a
Microsoft-
main
yeah,
attraction.
Microsoft makes the teaser trailer a main attraction. That's the difference, bro.
Yeah.
You know what
Exactly.
I mean? No, nobody's asking for that game. It could
Well,
be a
people
surprise.
People were asking to see exactly what Ninja Theory was doing.
And,
All right.
they were disappointed because they were expecting better. They were expecting
They
higher
were
quality.
expecting a single player, heavy story narrative,
Okay.
third person, camera
So-
over the
all right.
shoulder,
And as,
follow the blueprint of
and
what
as,
Sony
and
does.
as an organization,
they were-
and as-
It's
and as
not
an
just the
organization,
blueprint that
you have-
Sony does,
what-
because that's
all right,
what
but
that's
hold
what
on.
Ninja Theory has done as well in
Exactly,
their
like,
past. They
how all of a
wanted what
sudden-
Ninja Theory normally
Yeah,
gives them.
how all of a sudden Ninja Theory is doing something outside their element. And I'm not saying
How
they
is it
shouldn't.
all of a sudden when one of their first game on the OG Xbox was Kung Fu Chaos?
That was what, 20 years ago?
So,
That-
hey, look,
Outside their
let's be accurate
that-
though.
Come on, my dude.
Ninja
That-
Theory been making this game. Like Microsoft didn't say, "Hey, make us a multiplayer game."
Exactly.
Like that. Let's be accurate.
They
They've
wanted
been making
to
this
make
game.
that game.
It just so happens this is the first game out the gate from the new studios, and
That's-
it's not.
That's their
It's not
passion
what
project.
really we think Microsoft needs. But I've said it. I think the character model is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like I think the game's ugly,
Dude,
but I
you
do
know you like
respect
Buttercup,
Ninja Theory.
man.
I
Still.
respect Ninja Theory's pedigree. I just respect them as in melee combat. I think the game is going to play great, and I know everyone that I know that was at E3 and played it said most fun game I played at
They had
E3.
fun. Yeah.
It's probably going to be
Which is
fire,
great.
but
Great.
but people, if it's not what people are looking for, if it's not what people want, why is it that Microsoft can't just go, hey, look, a lot of hardcore gamers are liking what Sony is making. Why can't we make something similar to that and give them what they want?
Yeah. Let me real quick super chat here. I've got Thumbs says the farmer that works at the Microsoft farmhouse is a vegan. And then Sir X-Man and Sir X-Man says if Phil doesn't succeed in next gen, he'll be gone. I don't know about that because, here's the thing. Again, let's put everything in perspective. What Xbox is doing is almost ensuring that they're not going anywhere, guys. They're not going. The question is, do they remain the Xbox that we know, or do they become a third party? Almost like, look at, and that's, I'll breach into another subject with you guys. Stadia versus XCloud, okay? And before we get into that whole conversation, is that where Microsoft wants to be? Because Google doesn't have a console. Google really doesn't have, they may have acquired one recently, but they don't have any first-party games that we're really aware of. So they're really just a third-party source. They're not even a third-party developer.
But
They're a
what's this-
third-party source.
What is
So-
this exclusive stuff they got going on with Ubisoft, though?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, that's where I kind of wanted to take this conversation. People always said during these past few years, you got to remember something, Mooch. Microsoft or Xbox and Sony are not competitors. Well, let me tell you who is. Google. Google competes heavily, and they compete so much. That's why our YouTube app sucks on Xbox. That's how much Google doesn't like Microsoft. It's been an ongoing banging of heads between the two companies. So Google will do anything that they possibly can do. And if you don't believe me, look what they already did. Now, Destiny 2 is an older game. Let's take that into consideration. But they went and they said, everybody that gets their Founders Edition, which I signed up for, I want to see what it's about. I'm also going to try XCloud. They giving you Destiny 2, the full game, plus the new DLC coming out this fall. Do you guys think for one moment, they know they're going head-to-head with Microsoft. Do you think for one moment that Google's not going to start making exclusive deals or have their digital streaming service have exclusive content for maybe a year over Microsoft's xCloud? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't think Google's going to play, kumbaya. I don't think they're lighting any candles at Google. I think they're going out there and they're going to play dirty. And you know what? rightfully so. The Xbox did it with the 360 era and won or did very well.
The
Sony
problem,
did it this generation
I think
and won.
the big difference between that is, Mooch, the Xbox 360 was selling like goddamn hotcakes. I don't think developers are going to be real crazy to go, hey, let's give Google some exclusive shit.
No,
that
for
nobody else can
streaming,
get.
crap.
Yeah,
Streaming.
Well, I mean, why would they give them any? You know, I don't know. I don't think so though. I something just tells me
Because
that
Google got deep pockets, bro.
I
Yeah,
know,
it's that
but I
money
think they're very tentative about this stuff. Google either succeeds extremely well or fails extremely well, right? I think this is going to be a failure, and this was another talking point that I saw on that Colin Moriarty podcast where he believes Google is DOA already, Stadia is, and the reason being is he thinks we're still 7-10 years away from streaming being really viable, and they don't have a hybrid platform the way that Microsoft and Sony do to offer people in the interim, right? So that's going to be like nobody's going to wait around. There's a reason why we've had online we've had all these different things come and go, and they haven't really taken off. You know, and the thing is, like, people tried this stuff out at E3 under perfect circumstances, you know, right next to these servers or whatever. I'm not a big fan or anything of these games. I don't, you know, whenever we see it and we are seeing the people play it and they're showing it on their videos or whatever, the movements don't match what they're doing. I've never seen a movement match what they're doing 1-to-1 yet. You know, this is, and they're not playing multiplayer.
I don't think it's 7 years away. I think it's probably a year or two, but I will say this much, crap.
From being viable.
Well, again, I will use this. I'm not saying it'll be a primary, but it's definitely going to be a mobile source. It will definitely be an on-the-go gaming option. And there's just too much money. There's too much hype. There's people that play. Crap. Listen, for anybody that said whatever they said about either company, okay, XCloud or Stadia, the consensus was overall it works. So I don't think we're 7 years out.
I heard that with OnLive. I heard that with PlayStation Now. People are like, it's not really bad. People bash it all the time.
That's people that were diehard. These are people that could care less.
All this years later, and less than 1 million people have used PlayStation Now.
But what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen when internet providers start making bundles for these things, though, guys?
Crap, PlayStation Now had the original Tomb Raider on it. It's a big difference than I can take Destiny 2.
Well, no, they've got plenty. You could play. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you. In my opinion, there's a reason why this stuff isn't popular. Stadia, to be honest with you, they had that a big initial announcement. Nobody heard from them. And now they announced 30 games for it. They're selling people a bridge, and I actually kind of feel bad for people that invested in this, because you're gonna, right?
I honestly don't think so. And I've made this pitch a number of times. You always have to look at what you're getting for your dollar. Okay, Xbox is selling $69 controllers. They're giving you the controller. They're $69. You're getting the best Chromecast,
and that's a horrible controller, by the way.
That's opinion based, but hear me out. Then you've got the Chromecast that's retailing for $69 on the shelf. You're getting the DLC for Destiny 2 plus the full game, and you can transfer over your game that you've already worked on. That's a $30 or $25 value right there. Then you're getting 3 months of the subscription, which is going to be, that's $10 for their cost. That's $30 right there. Hear me out. I don't think if you invest that it's throwing money out. I think if anything, you're trying it. It's a viable option. I'm not saying that you should renew afterwards, but for the $129, I do think you're getting hardware and services that justifies and makes that $129 valid. If you don't feel that way, I get it, but you are getting the hardware. It's not like $129 and all I'm getting is a pipe dream.
Mooch. I think Google isn't in this game to be a quote unquote viable option. They typically, what comes with Google, if they don't match the expectations that they expect to make when they enter into an industry, they're out. And they're going to be out fast. Like we could be like a year from now, maybe like by the time the next gen systems come out, and Google is already an afterthought. Like they've already moved on to something else. That's how quickly they will move on when something doesn't work out. I think they went into this completely wrong. They hired Jade Raymond. Now, in like 2 weeks later, she's running their only first-party studio. So what if she didn't leave EA? You would have. What would you have had? Nothing.
No, I know.
You can't get people to come to your platform if you don't have a reason to bring people to the platform. And without the games, they're your own games that people can't get from somewhere else.
They're banking on whatever their streaming capability is. They're banking on that. That's the service they're providing.
I just want to say I would definitely agree with Slow-Mo if it wasn't for the fact of their investment of bringing YouTube in on this and having people being able to purchase the game that like a streamer is playing and get in and play with them and stuff like that. That type of investment there, I think they're
Well-
in it for a longer run than you might think.
And
Here's the
don't want-
thing. Look, Stadia
Right.
is going to need people that want to play this shit as their only option, right? They're not going to survive with people playing it on the fucking trip once every 3 months.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's not going to work for them. That's not
Well,
like
crap. Here's the thing, though. We're at a crossroads in gaming, aren't we? We just had this conversation
No.
3 weeks. Yes, we are. Hold on.
I don't think we are.
We are. It's called cross save.
What's
It's called
Stadia?
cross save.
What's
Now I
Stadia's
can take
business
games that I'm
model?
playing on PlayStation and Xbox. I can bring them over to my Stadia game, and I can play it on the road. When you're right, it's not something that is going to be viable if I'm using it once every 3 weeks. You're right, crap. But the thing is, though, now I can bring those games that I'm working hard and diligently on my PS4, PS5, or Anaconda, and now I can transfer that save over, and now I have a viable option when I hit the road. And now I'm not doing what all those guys said over, no offense, all day. All those guys in California, like, oh, I'm going over to my friend's house. I just put my PS4 in my backpack and made a sandwich, and I went over. No, not the case. Now you bring a controller and you go.
But they're also not the only one doing that.
Right.
Like with Microsoft coming out with XCloud, they can't say they're the only person doing that either.
Hey, what the fuck is going on?
That's crap playing the nobody's going to use Stadia Blue.
I think Google's going to shut that down within a year and a half.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
gonna be done. Hey, but
That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Business model for Stadia. I don't remember.
What's that?
The business model for Stadia. What is it?
You got to pay for the service,
Right.
but also buy your games, and you don't own anything. It's
How does
just,
that work?
I guess you're paying $9.99 a
Well,
month.
they also have a vault.
Access-
But all day they also have a vault of games.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's only like 30 games and they're all like older.
It's
Yeah.
30. Well, when you say older, one of them's Rage 2, came out 3 weeks ago. I mean, you know, it is what it is.
But you're gonna be
It-
able to pick up that game on a, for
I
and
know,
play it
but-
natively for $20.
But that's
here.
the argument. Everyone that'll argue Game Pass is the greatest value since like Wonder Bread hit $1, right? I mean,
aren't they selling these games for a full $60 as well? Like,
some are going to be $60, but that's the same thing with
Yeah.
Game Pass, right? So Game Pass has 200 games in it or whatever. But if
hey,
you
this
want to
week's
play,
trends, you do
new
have to
game,
pay
you
a
gotta buy it.
subscription. The subscription is $9.99.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess they have like
$9.99.
some kind of free thing, but you still have
No.
to buy the game.
Yeah, you have to buy the game.
that free model doesn't start until next year.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
so
Stop
you
Six
do
Stock-
have to buy the subscription.
Shout out to Stop Six Stock in the chat. He says, I bought an X, no games. I don't want to buy the most powerful console twice with no adult games. So shout out to Stop Six Stocks. Thanks for being here.
Yo, Stop Six. He really hates cartoon games. Yeah, I swear.
Yeah, he
I
like
see him
Well,
in the
when
chat
that's all you
forward,
get.
man.
Did you see Microsoft had the most quote unquote non-violent games
Yes, I saw that.
shown off at E3 or whatever it is? Like, what a ridiculous award to win.
Send me that link. I got it.
I retweeted it earlier. I had to find it. Yeah, it's like it's so ridiculous to think that this
So
is
you-
Microsoft doing that. You know,
So
like
you guys don't think you guys really? I mean, because Slow-Mo, I know how Crap feels about it. Slow-Mo, you really think that in a year Google's out? I'm excited for that. I think. Listen, I travel for work. Slow-Mo, I thought you did too. I mean, if you travel for work, this is something exciting because all I've ever been able to take, and there's nothing wrong with Switch, but I'm getting tired of playing Mario Odyssey and Bayonetta 2. I want to play like the games that we're playing. I want to play Destiny. I want to play Division.
And you can do that on XCloud.
Yes, I can, but you can't.
And you
say
already
xCloud.
own the games. You can you like Xbox basically shut down Google's entire business model. They got console streaming. Because I think XCloud's probably
But wait
going
a
to
minute, how
be
can
a
we-
stub, but you're going to have to
Slow-mo,
pay
real-
for it.
Slow-mo,
But
real quick.
console streaming is going to be free.
But Slow-mo, how can we defend xCloud and say that Stadia is going to be gone in 12 months? It's the same service.
Because it's not all Xbox has. Xbox has PC, the console. It has so many different
Stadia
other
has
ways
PC.
to sell their games. There's some of the games on Steam. So if XCloud doesn't blow up, well,
So wait,
they
so
got
we're-
other
all right, ready?
things to fall
Let's-
back on. What
let's-
does Google have to fall back on?
Slow-mo, let's use an example because it helps to use that, right? Like Borderlands 3 is coming out this fall. Okay,
Right.
so you buy it on Xbox and
Mhm.
you can play it on xCloud anywhere, right?
Right.
Okay, ready? Check this out. If you buy Borderlands 3 on Stadia, you can play it anywhere. What's the difference?
The difference is I am one leery of Google and how they dip out on stuff. Two, Borderlands 3, we're talking about a first-person shooter. From what I saw of the performance of Stadia, I don't think it's going to work. And the
I'm not saying you're wrong.
The people who were there at E3 said that the latency for XCloud was better than the latency.
See, I read the opposite.
Really?
Yes.
Because I saw people that were like, I think
Greg Miller did an hour piece on.
Man, I don't want to hear about Greg Miller.
Well, I don't know.
At the end of the day,
Greg Miller's game of
environments,
he said his game of the show was Google Stadia.
Yo, guys,
it's not even a game.
He's out of
Crab Gamer. We got Crab Gamer quoting Colin Moriarty, and we have Mooch, quoting.
I'm
Greg
not quoting
Miller.
anybody. I'm just telling you these are the guys that played it. But I mean, there's people who played both. There's people who played both, and they said
Pandemonium.
They
Cats and dogs killing together.
At the end of the day,
shout out to Saji. Shout out to Saji Bot. I'm excited for streaming. He says if it works out, it'll be a huge investment opportunity. I love money. I'm right there with you, Saji. Thanks for that super chat. I appreciate it.
I love the people that are into like streaming, like were the ones that hate VR too. They're like, VR sucks. It's terrible. There's no future for it.
VR is putting a motorcycle helmet on and falling outside your living room window.
I'm telling you, VR right now, man. I let my fiance play it. She does not a gamer. Fucking loved it. Right, hooked on VR. Fucking loved it. I'm telling you, like that's the shit. You try it, you love it. I'm telling you, that's something, right? Fucking streaming your games, like okay, I don't see that, right? Like to me, I think, and not only that, but I think you know what's going to happen. Streaming is quickly turning into the fucking next Guitar Hero, where we got oversaturated with those type of games. How many fucking streaming things? Square is going to introduce one. Ubisoft introduced one. There's EA. Everybody wants a fucking streaming service.
Look,
people are going to start tuning that shit out. I'm telling you.
I'm not. The only thing I can't buy into is, and Slow-Mo's answer, and I respect his opinion. He's just weary of Google. That's fine. But you're not going to have XCloud making the presence that they're making, and Stadia make their presence, and then tell me that this is not a viable option in the next 12 months.
Here's another thing, Mooch. Okay, so the same people, the same demographic that Google's going after. This demographic of gamer already has either a PlayStation or an Xbox, or they game on PC, right?
That's right.
Okay, so let's say they see a Google, but a YouTube video, and they see someone playing the game. They're like, "Wow, that game's fire! I really want to play that."
Right.
Their first thought isn't going to be, even with the little icon that pops up and say, "Hey, spend your $60 right now, and you can play it right now through YouTube." Their first thought's going to be, "I'm going on PSN or Xbox Live or Steam."
I've already said
buying the game.
I've already said I'm rooting for XCloud because I'm invested in Xbox. But you have to remember something too, Slow-Mo. And it's something I tell crap all the time. Every single day, every day we all wake up, a new gamer enters the world that we've been in for years. So they don't have that existence that we have. So you can't say, hey, you shouldn't invest in this. No more pizza places. We have enough of them. It doesn't work like that.
But you got to be smart enough to know the fly-by-night stuff.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, Mooch is right. There are new gamers, a new generation of gamers every year. That's correct. But the problem is that Google doesn't stick around long enough when things don't work out that way.
There, I tip my cap to you. But I gotta say, I travel for work, so I understand maybe you guys don't a lot. But right now, all day's not on the West Coast, and if all day was able to try, right? So all day, how cool would it be to throw either your Xbox controller or your Stadia controller in your bag and be able to jam out on whatever or wherever you are and play whatever save you had on your PS4, bring it over. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty nice.
Sleep, Mooch.
Right?
Take a nap.
Shout out to Saji about again. He says, doesn't matter. Easy to get into streaming because it's cheap, not VR. That's true. VR is very expensive.
Until you realize that most people, if you're going to stream on the go, even if you have unlimited data on your phones or whatever, they actually do cap you after a certain amount, and streaming. What was it? You usually go over that amount. 10 gigs in an hour? Holy shit!
Here's the thing. I'll be honest with you. I said this once. I'll say this a million times. I have no intention when I say I'm on the road and I'm traveling to play Destiny 2 on my phone. When you get to the hotel room on your travel, you're able to put that Chrome link in the back there. Boom! All of a sudden, I'm playing and I'm using maybe it'll only be 1080p. But guess what? Before I was playing Luigi and I was playing Mario Kart.
I'd rather play Mario Kart.
Wi-Fi though, bro. That shit's horrible.
It can be as horrible as you want. It'll still get me my game.
Yeah, run it at 10 frames a second.
No.
But see, the really what it really comes down to is that Google doesn't have anything that's unique. Their platform doesn't have anything that's truly, truly unique.
As
They
of
got
right now, you're
streaming.
right.
I gotta
As of right now,
They're
you're right.
streaming. Microsoft has that.
That's
They don't
right.
have any first party games.
Listen,
Like there's nothing.
I'm all in on XCloud. So all I'm telling you is I wanted to try both. I was like, listen, I don't think for the 129 it was necessarily a bad investment.
Your pockets run deep, bro. I would too, man, if I ran like that.
No,
Come
I'm
on,
not
man.
saying. I just think it's literally it's 120. Come on, crap! Are you kidding me? 129.
Shit, I can't afford that.
You bought three shitty games last year that I can sell out.
I can't. No,
outta
man,
here.
I'm just a poor guy, man. I
Yeah.
can't afford any of that shit, dude. Like
Get outta
look,
here.
I like that's not my bag. Like it is what it is. I actually don't want these things to succeed because I want consoles to continue to be around, and it does seem like we're going to have consoles for a long time to come. But you know, I also worry if XCloud doesn't succeed, where that leaves Microsoft, right? Because they're hoping on this.
They're banking on it.
No, they are, and I think that it's a little bit too soon for them to be banking on it. I don't think they're going to talk about the subscriber count that they have or who's using it. They're going to hide that very, very, but they're not going to be able to hide it as well as they hide poor Xbox One sales, because we're going to know their users, their active users, and people that use XCloud uniquely or would count as a unique new active user, right? So we'll be able to gauge probably how many people are actually using the service, because Microsoft won't really have a way to hide that like they do the sales.
Let's give Slow-Mo some credit here because he's been fighting the chat all night. RDM says he said, right. He says Slow-Mo is correct. Stadia only have streaming as way to play. It is not ready yet. XCloud is only one of the options to play Xbox Gamer Road to Game. Listen, I got to be honest with you. I have no.
I am correct. Damn it.
I am not really. I'm not really arguing with you. I am 100. If you said to me right now, Mooch, I'm giving you $100. Make your bet. Where do you want to go? I want to go XCloud because I'm invested there. There's no doubt about it. But I do have to say that I'm going to go back to my original statement. Slow-Mo, as much as you think that Google's the first to back out and go, I'm right there with you. They're going to play dirty. I'm telling you right now, they're going to play dirty. They're going to do something that makes their platform unique. And how do you do that?
The only way,
exclusives.
You know, I hope they do because they'll keep things interesting. But the only way they're going to be able to keep it interesting, play dirty, they need to go do what Microsoft does. They got the money, buy some studios.
Or buy some
go out there
and
get some buy some IP
games.
Yeah, but then also like Epic, where you throw a pie of gold at a developer, and now your game is exclusive on your platform for like 6 months. That's going to be what they need to do. And unlike Microsoft, if they're going to buy studios, don't let those studios keep making games. You know, I don't care if you already said you were going to publish your game on PlayStation. You ain't doing it anymore. I own you now. Like, that needs to be that kind of aggressiveness. That's what they need to do. But
you know, Slow-Mo, look, you gave a great example. And everybody who was kind of like shutting it down, be like, no, Mooch, you can't be done. Epic Game Store. What are they offering me? I don't care that the developer gets a bigger split. Doesn't do nothing for me. Do you know what they did? They got exclusives. Their game store is the same as Steam's. It's the same as Microsoft's. As a matter of fact, most people will tell you it's worse. And guess what? People still go there because why? If you want to play that game on PC, you got to go buy it over there. And you don't think Google will do that? They got money. You want to talk about deep pockets that run deep? That's Google. And people have been saying the entire generation, right? The entire generation. They've been saying Microsoft's not in competition with Sony. Microsoft could buy Sony tomorrow. Fine.
No, Phil says that they won it again. Come on.
Well, that I don't know. But I'm just saying it's an interesting debate. I don't think it's as easy as, oh, they don't offer me anything, they're gone. Epic Store doesn't offer you anything, but they're not going anywhere. You know, they didn't make Fortnite exclusive to the Epic Store. They're here to stay. That was my pitch. That's my whole pitch on that. I mean, I personally think that they're both going to be pretty much the same on performance out the gate.
I don't know.
What do you think?
Matt Priscatella had an interesting take. He said, according to his Google Stadia thoughts from E3, he said, I expected far greater detail around the upcoming streaming services than was on display at the show.
Yeah.
Google announced a Stadia product with the 129 Stadia Founder Edition, along with the incomplete detail on his pricing and subscription offering around content. The announced exclusive content for the service, which has proven to be crucial for successful launches in the console space, was limited and relatively small in scale compared with traditional launches. Google Stadia has support from some third-party publishers, while many questions remain about how the service will work when released in the market, if there's enough content to fuel adoption, and if consumers will be able to navigate what could be a confusing offering. Google Stadia will launch in November. He has conservative expectations for Stadia at launch, and he doesn't expect it to have a significant impact in the market. With XCloud, he says no pricing or business model details were shared at E3, entering public trials in October.
Right.
XCloud promises to allow XCloud users to access to owned or subscribed content that can be played already on their Xbox consoles, as opposed to Google Stadia, which looks to establish a new platform which would require users to build completely new libraries. XCloud will allow people access libraries that they may have built already through the years, and is a complementary service to the Xbox ecosystem. I don't anticipate significant market impact from the release of XCloud testing this holiday, but it could have impact to subscriptions to Game Pass in future years.
You said this was who said
Matt
all this again?
Piscatella, the
NPD
Oh,
NPD.
cool. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gonna be on Brap like next week or the week after.
He's a good guy.
That's gonna be a good conversation to bring up with him.
Yeah, honestly, and don't get me wrong, I just think that, and it is early on, guys. There's no way, like, when October, November comes into this year, everyone's gonna be like, well, there you go. I'm streaming. Right? It's not happening. I get that.
I'm in their right mind. I mean, we're talking about 8K on these next console, and people are like,
I mean, these
hyping
companies
up.
would love for you to do that, but it's not going to happen.
That's not happening. I totally get that. But I mean, I think that, you know, and we'll kind of just shift subject slightly again. These all kind of meld together. I mean, crap, there was talk about there being a Scarlet, a Lockhart,
yeah,
a Mooch and Crap edition. I mean, there was every, right?
Oh, where can we get the Mooch and Crap edition?
It's only for sale in New York. I'm sorry, guys.
No, you only get the ray tracing version, bro.
Oh,
there it is.
oh,
No, I mean,
full ray tracing,
I mean,
by the way, not
it
just
makes-
graphics.
does it make sense? I think them scrapping Lockhart is a great idea. It was too confusing, too many SKUs. Like, don't you think that they should just go ahead?
I'm not like supporting either way, that they're definitely going one console or they're going to stay with the two price points. I don't think it's guaranteed that they're only going one right now, because Project Scarlet was supposed to be the name for multiple devices put together, and I think that they were just talking about the Anaconda when they came up with that same commercial that they did for Project Scorpio, man.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
Real quick. I'm sorry, Mooch, but real quick, yeah. And I'm forgetting where the hell the damn interview was, but you know, Phil Spencer did come out and say they didn't ask him about Lockhart in this thing. I'm forgetting who the interview was with, but they didn't ask.
It was The Verge.
It was The Verge. Okay.
Yeah. They asked them. They said
They didn't ask him
is
about two SKUs, but they asked him if they were gonna do like a mid-generation refresh, and he said that with the power of this Scarlet console, no, it isn't going to be necessary. They're not foreseeing that in the future. Something to that effect. And they did not mention anything about there being two SKUs. So
you know what? That may have been the Giant Bomb. He's did a lot of interviews this week. That may be the
That
Giant
was
Bomb
Giant
interview.
Bomb. I watched that
Yeah.
whole interview.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The Verge interview, they asked them directly. They said, is Scarlet one console, or is it going to be like a group of consoles, a high end, a mid gen, and a cheaper one? And he said, we're just focused on this one console, Scarlet's console, and this is the specialization we're working on. It was very vague. It didn't really answer the question. It does kind of give that indication that Lockhart may have been canceled, or it may not be going to happen. If it's canceled, I'm like, cool. Just take your Xbox One X, make it $250 or something, make it your cheaper option.
Hey, you and Knox get along, man. Yo, he said the same shit.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Why are you making a whole nother SKU? And from what the details came out about the Lockhart,
That's right.
like, it's barely better than the One X.
You have
Like,
you already have a
One X.
Lockhart. It's called an Xbox One X. Exactly.
Did you
Right,
guys
yeah.
also see that Amazon laid off a bunch of their
Yes.
people and canceled a bunch of games? Again, if you're not one of the, like, history has shown us that there's usually only room for 3 competitors in the market, and Amazon came in, tried to do something. There was rumors that they were going to get some kind of streaming service, streaming game thing up as well. Now they're laying off people and canceling games and things like that. Like, I just think that it's super risky. I get that Google has money, but Google sometimes abandons things quickly, just like Microsoft does, right? Like,
Yeah.
nobody can sit
Zune.
here on this panel and
My
go,
Zune, baby.
yeah, not just soon. Groove Music.
Groove Music.
Uh,
Windows
I mean,
Phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Windows Phone. I freaking
Well, I
love
mean-
my Windows Phone,
Me
but they
too,
were like,
man. I
"Hey,
miss my phone.
screw
so
you."
Real quick, shout out to Saji. He says Google was genius in how they presented it. It's too long to go into detail, but the low entry price point and the lack of information was a good move. And you know, it's interesting. You read that originally and you go, wait, how is that possible? But you know, and I know everybody in this panel is going to boo and hiss me here, but Apple does that. Apple gives very little information on their stage. Like you guys, listen, it's been the running gag for what, 2 weeks now? They're charging $1,000 for a stand, and everyone's like, ha, 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 ha. Who would ever buy that? Meanwhile, Apple's like, we're out of stands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
True.
so you know, it's I agree with Saji on that. Sometimes that's maybe why Phil and them are not throwing out too much information. But I got to be honest with you. I don't think Google's just going to fold house in 12 months. I think this is a viable option for a lot of people, and we'll find out. But I do agree with Slow Mo where he said they're not offering anything unique. That's something interesting. Because I said the same thing that Slow Mo said when the word was coming out about the Epic Game Store. I'm like, well, what? I'm like, they're going to go against Steam? The consumer doesn't care if the developer's getting an extra 12%. It doesn't do anything for my wallet. But all of a sudden you go, I don't care. And then they're like, no, but you have to. We're the only ones that sell it. You're like, okay, I guess I'll take two. You know, so it's like, if I got to buy there, I got to buy there. I think they're going to do something. And I called it it's a little grimy, but Xbox 360 did it. PlayStation 4 did it at the beginning of this generation. And guess what, guys? It works. It works. And I think Google's going to go, guess what? Google's going to agree with Slow-Mo. They're going to be like, guys, we have absolutely nothing to offer these gamers that they don't already have an option for and in their home already. What do we do? How about this? How about we close the door for them not to be able to do it over there? Genius. You know, and let me tell you something. Developers right now are smiling from ear to ear because developers are going, we can ask Google for a pretty penny.
Uh-huh.
You already know all day. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
So I don't think this is going away.
It's my dude. They're gonna get them yuccas.
But you know what? Something else that I just remembered about the difference between XCloud and Stadia just hit me. With Stadia, the developers actually have to do work to get their games to run on the Stadia platform, whereas with XCloud, they don't have to do anything. It's my Xbox division is doing all the work there.
As long as you made the game for the Xbox platform, it runs on their servers, man.
Exactly. So that's one more thing that Stadia is
all day.
taking an L on.
Right.
Ray
It's
tracing.
true. Ray tracing.
Ray
tracing.
Oh,
Ray tracing.
that's that new tech right there, baby.
Well,
Who doesn't want to play Witcher or Cyberpunk on their phone, right? Come on.
Well, crap. I'm so glad you said that. You just brought up the next topic that I had here. There's talk that Nintendo's got their Mini and their Pro coming, or it's in production right now. Hear me out real quick. Right? And I am too. But I'll be honest with you. Here we are. We saw that Nintendo's got this portable device. If you don't think Nintendo doing this, or if Nintendo caught wind of it, that's basically and essentially XCloud and Stadia. But this is actually holding the hardware in your hand, where before, you know, now you can use it anywhere.
Well, people are going to need something to play all those Xbox games on the Nintendo Switch, right? They need a better Switch.
Hey, man, if you can play your XCloud on there, it's not necessarily a bad thing, especially with those new grips coming out.
For sure, man.
Yeah,
Let's get it done, Phil. They listened.
They did listen.
Just not to Xbox fans.
Yeah, they didn't listen to us. But
Look,
nonetheless.
you know how crazy this. I'm reading this tweet right now by Ed Boon. Did you guys see this tweet?
Yeah, he
what'd
wants
you
to
say?
put the Thunder skin on a Mortal Kombat character.
Yes.
Like, what the? Make a game.
Yeah, it's not like Xbox fans haven't been asking for a Killer Instinct 2 for years now, right?
I want to know who plays it regularly, so you can tell me what's the last update they got. Like,
It was years ago. It was the extra
Fuck.
characters or something. Yeah, it was a while ago.
this is crazy.
What game?
And that's
What
not
game?
even that.
Oh,
And
wait,
Killer
they're waiting for
Instinct.
E3 2020.
And Killer Instinct, yeah, E3 2023. Be there. Damn it, I'll be over 40 then, man. I won't care at that point, honestly. So fuck.
That's awesome. No, but I mean, what do you guys think about that whole thing? Because you have The Witcher 3, which I know a lot of people that kind of caught by surprise.
The
They were like,
Switcher
that's great.
3?
Well, the Switcher 3, you're at 540p. Right? And I mean,
Someone
I know
just took some A&D and spread it all over that screen, bro.
it's so
That
true.
game is the
Telling you.
game of the generation at 1p.
I don't know.
Right.
15 frames per second.
It is a great game, but I mean,
Oh,
I don't know about
absolutely.
you guys, but like, I know that we're done with the P talk. I get it, but at the same time,
It's like, come
Like-
on, dude.
that may be a bit much, right? I mean, that's like playing. That makes a 360 game look great. So, I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily the way we want to play it. I think that this is going to be a one and
Maybe
done.
the cloud can help.
Hey
You know what I mean?
man, we're still waiting for that Donnie D Cloud that we were promised, right? That's coming still, right?
That's
Oh,
XCloud,
eventually.
brother. That's XCloud.
XCloud.
Well, let me tell you something, though, guys. E3 week wasn't, it had its ups and downs. I think a major up was Nintendo's, though, right? Luigi Mansion 3, they said the new Zelda,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that was a great showing by Nintendo, and they're not even like, that was
I
pre-recorded.
completely unexpected that, man. I didn't expect that at all.
I didn't either. Like, I showed everybody. I was like, I can't believe it. Like, everyone's gonna laugh, but I'm like, I'm buying Luigi 3 Mansion. I'm buying that.
I am too. I have the first two or the on 3DS. So yeah.
But this looks like
my twins flipped out over Luigi's Mansion 3.
I actually
should.
like. I know it's lame, but I like Animal Crossing. So like,
that's something I'll never get.
I know, but like, as far as listen, as far as like sim games go or whatever,
Yeah.
that's fun to just kick back and chill to.
That's
Like
a very
that,
chill
that-
game.
Yeah, that's why I like that game. Like that, like to hate.
A lot of
hate it or
people do.
whatever, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they're and they announced with that little index card, they're already making a Breath of the Wild sequel. Imagine that.
I know.
Announcing
Microsoft
a
saying
sequel?
Perfect Dark is
Oh, yeah.
coming.
Why would you tell people? Why would you tell people in advance, crap?
I don't because you want people excited about about the platform.
Revolutionary.
Look at that. Holy shit.
That is a novel concept. I've never heard of such a
I
thing.
went to the movies the other day, and they actually showed me movies coming out next year. I was like, "What the fuck is
Holy
this?"
how
shit?
dare they?
do that now?
I asked the guy next to me. I said, "What's this?"
How
What's
can they
going
do
on?
that?
What's
That's
happening?
crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
It's so nuts, right?
It is.
Crazy.
Hey, WR Cup says, "You guys ready for Marvel Ultimate Alliance
Yes!
3 and Link's Awakening?" Hell yeah, I'm ready for Ultimate Alliance.
Link's
3 and
Awakening
I'm
looks
already
badass. That's
forward to that game.
people probably going, "Are you crazy?" That's nostalgia to the nth degree for
Oh,
me.
hell yeah. Hell yeah.
How
And
fantastic is that?
you can create your own dungeons in that as well.
I just think the whole thing that Nintendo's doing is good for them, man. They go, "You guys are streaming. You guys are doing this. You guys are doing that. You guys got 45,000 Ps. We're good. We're over here. We're making money." Right? I mean, they're absolutely killing it. So that being said, though, guys, I do want to bring up a few things. Cyberpunk 2077. Of course, there was the whole Keanu Reeves thing that was great. But the game itself.
Fire fangirled so much in the live reaction when she saw Keanu Reeves. That was it. It was she was done for the rest of the show.
Well, there you go.
Oh my
So
goodness.
was Xbox.
So,
Oh,
wow. Wow.
Down goes Xbox.
Yo, Slow-mo.
I couldn't resist. I couldn't
Slow-mo,
resist.
I just
I don't
want to say, Slow-mo,
Yeah.
you're breathtaking.
No, you're breathtaking.
So I mean, all day. What do you think? What was? Let me just let's go to the outer kind of circle looking in. What was the game that you would say kind of was E3 this year for you? Any system doesn't matter.
Okay.
All day
Yeah.
thinking. He's thinking about it.
Interesting.
Still
all
thinking.
day.
Anybody got the Jeopardy music?
What?
That's not all day.
Hey, fuck.
Oh, sorry.
All day. We lost all day. We lost.
did.
all
Oh
day.
no, he's gone.
Slow-mo, I'm gonna go to you then. I'm going guest first here. What was that E3 game that really kind of was like, all right, that's it. I gotta have this game.
Oh, that was Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Really? What
mean,
about the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
episodic thing that's putting people on like alert?
That's what I'm nervous
sorry.
about.
Look, Final Fantasy. I used to be a big Final Fantasy VII fan, and not 7, but Final Fantasy period, the series. I haven't really enjoyed them since 9, and that was like on PlayStation 2, I think. So like me going back and seeing and like in them really nailing the combat for me, that's the game. That's the game for me.
Is it going to
But-
be episodic or no?
Oh, it's definitely going to be episodic, and I'm dealing with it. Okay, I'm
Dude, how
I'm
the
trying
hell-
to wrap my head
Slow-mo.
around it. It's all
Slow-mo.
good though.
Slow-mo, how the hell are they gonna make Final Fantasy VII episodic, man?
Well, this is what they're going to do. So, like the first episode is going to be all Midgar. Now, if you played the original game, you know that's really only like 15-20% of the actual full game. So that's like, what are you doing? They're actually adding more story now. So remember how in the first game when you met the Avalanche terrorist group, resistance group, freedom fighters, whatever you want to call them, like you basically were introduced to them. They were nobodies. They're dead. Now it's going to be like you get to know them. You're going to do missions with them. It's going to be a lot more content and getting to know all these characters before you.
What I'm saying, brother, like to level my characters up and everything, it was a lot of like free roaming, just running around all different areas, you know, getting
Grinding.
into fights.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm concerned about.
Well, no, you're going to have missions to do. Like you're going to be doing more missions. It's still the same story, but it's going to be in more detail.
Man. You can see where I'm a little concerned here.
What are you concerned about?
It looks like they're taking a game that was a huge dining hall, and they're trying to set up that huge dining hall in a smaller hallway. You know what I'm saying?
You play Crackdown 3, bro. You good?
Exactly.
Dude,
you
play Crackdown 3. You're gonna be good.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're the same guy who enjoyed Extinction, one of the worst games.
Dude, that was
made
fun. It was a fun game, man.
So I don't want to hear
what game?
It was a fun game.
Extinction.
See, you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's a trash game.
But see, all day I
may have blocked it out of my memory.
That's like right there with two humans. That's right there with two humans, bro.
You know what that means, man? That means that you check up on my content, and I appreciate that, brother. I really do.
But no, look, that was my game. That was my game of the show. Because
when's that releasing, Slow-Mo?
That's coming out March or April next year.
You guys feel the way I feel like certain games are just like they just feel, but like I myself personally, I'm biased towards this, but I think that first-person shooters just feel better on the Xbox. A game like Final Fantasy VII almost feels like you would want to play it on PlayStation. Is you Slow-Mo you that way, or you hell no, you're going with the X?
It's
it's a timed exclusive on PlayStation, but they say it's coming to X eventually.
We talked about how we're Epic and how aggressive you are in making sure people buy your games on your platform.
Yes,
they made the choice for me.
Yep,
it's coming out on PlayStation first. That's where I'm going to play it.
And there it is. Exclusive content still works. Knox, what about you? What game stole it for you before you have to go because you have to leave early?
You know, for me, of course, Cyberpunk, bro. Like that was the joint, but it was a CGI. You know what I mean? But it was still that story was intense, right? Like that whole joint was fire. But something that I am interested in that a lot of people ain't talking about, man. Phantasy Star Online 2. Who's ready to do a dragon run? Dragon run.
That was awesome.
Yeah, yo, man, back in the 360, that was my jump off right there, bro. You don't know how many. Shout out to my man Beast 378. Dragon run all day. Yeah, man.
Is that on all consoles?
That was on 360.
No, just 360.
It was 360. It was not
But I mean,
the original was
the new one coming out. Is that on all?
I'm assuming that's going to be multi-plat.
PS4.
Yeah, it's multi-plat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's what I figured. I thought for some reason it was a PC-centric game. For some reason, I don't know why that came to mind.
That's going to be multi-plat, of course. Come on, it got announced on Microsoft stage. It's going to be multi-plat.
Oh, brother!
But we got
it's console timed 5-second. Virtual reality Megaton exclusive, right? Like that's the problem. Like Microsoft, realistically, that's what they have a habit of doing, right? Like they act like exclusives don't matter, but then they go out of their way to confuse the fuck out of people. And so I gotta argue with idiots on Twitter who are like, "We're getting Final Fantasy 2 exclusively, or CrossFire exclusively, or Blair Witch Project. That's an exclusive." And I'm like, that shit's all going to PlayStation.
All of them are multi-plat.
All of it's going to PlayStation. Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, it's all going to PlayStation. Stop. I was like,
Microsoft is basically like a console timeshare now.
Exactly. So they don't.
Crap does the best thing. Yeah, do the huckster Phil. It's awesome because that is what he's doing. Come get it over here. Come get Game Pass.
We got an exclusive over here. We got exclusive over there. We got exclusives everywhere. We don't really have exclusives because they're going to PS4 eventually. But we're not going to tell you that because we're too busy with Game Pass and Game Pass rules. But hey, we want to sell our games. We want to put Halo on PS4. But you wouldn't like that. We're going to do it eventually anyway. But hey, you guys suck my dick too much anyway. So basically, yeah, exactly, man. There's some people out there who know basically what Phil had for dinner last night. And people, you guys know, everybody knows who they are. Everybody knows who they are. So
we're going on to the next guy. All right, Knox, I don't know if you got to leave early or not, buddy, but
I got to book it. I'm here with my brother. He's loving the show, by the way. But I'm gonna bounce a little bit early, man. But it was awesome, man. This is a great panel, bro. I couldn't see the chat because, like I said, I'm in my brother's house. So if anybody's showing the kids some love, good looking, man. Right back at y'all. And y'all already know, this was awesome, bro.
Appreciate that, Knox.
Thank you,
Knox, man.
Baby.
Thank you very much, man.
Yo, fellas,
What do you think? What do you think?
Clowns.
I'm interested to hear. I'm interested to hear Xbot real quick because Xbot likes all games. So this is going to be Xbot's head might explode with this. What was your favorite game for the actual E3 performance?
I had a couple, but man, I'm not going to do what the normal YouTuber does and give like a list of 4 or 5 when you ask for one. So when we're going with one, I gotta go Doom Eternal all day.
Wow!
Oh my Halo?
Yes, dude. They didn't show any gameplay for Halo.
Boom.
I'm gonna be able to play Doom this year. All right. When it comes down to it, they showed gameplay. They showed a lot of gameplay. They left you teasing. They left you kind of like teased at the end with what was going on with the big monster, all that good stuff. Being able to use a grappling hook. Using more verticality.
The game looks fantastic.
It looks
amazing.
It looks absolutely incredible. I cannot wait. I will be streaming that game day one. Day one as soon as it releases.
Absolutely. Clowns, what about you, Clowns? What was your show? That's the one that stole the show for you. Pardon, what game stole the show?
Battletoads, man.
Oh, come on.
Serious, I love Battletoads. I'm so excited for it.
No, it wasn't, Clown.
Yes,
Stop
it
it.
was.
I don't believe
We're
that.
all going to try it, but
I love the cartoony comic book style stuff. And I mean, it hits it right for me as a kid with nostalgia. I think it's a perfect, sequel to it.
Why don't you get an emulator and go play it again?
I do. I got an emulator and everything, including the Vita, by the way, where I play Sea of Thieves also.
Oh. What was that? I think you just swore at somebody, and I just couldn't get the wording right, man.
Crap, what's your game that kind of took you out of your element for a few moments? Which one can't you wait to play?
You know what? I'm just like everybody else. Cyberpunk, when that game releases, is probably going to be one of the games of the year. You know what I mean?
Just definitely gonna be game of the year.
Like here's the thing. I like Witcher 3, but that game was very daunting at times. I think so. The setting of that was kind of boring to me at times. Cyberpunk is bustling with stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's got so much. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's very appealing. So, I'm very much looking forward to that game. And I wasn't really sold on it originally, but now what we're seeing and just that developer's quality, and they're going to put the time in and do that game right. Yeah. So I'd have to say that game. And if I had a runner up, it might be, even though it's getting a little bit of hate, that Avengers game is something that I'm looking forward to as well. So
I'm glad you mentioned it. Actually, that's a great.
Yeah, hey, look, hey, Mooch, we could be the Avengers, man. Come on.
Well, you can't really argue with that point.
Exactly. So
I heard the gameplay is actually pretty good.
Exactly. So I'm not going to bitch about, hey, they look kind of cheesy or whatever. Whatever it is, what it is, man.
The millennial Tony Starks looks good, right?
All day. What's yours, buddy?
I would say Final Fantasy would be number 1. Number 2 would be Cyberpunk, and then one I'm interested in is Deathloop. So,
all right,
yeah, Deathloop looked weird. I mean, not weird. It looked weird, but I liked it.
All right.
Yeah, I think my honorable mention has to be My Friend Pedro. That game
looks fire.
Oh my god, I can't wait to play that.
12 minutes. That's mine. Wait, no, that looked.
That's
horrible.
definitely not yours.
Yeah,
that's a waiting simulator.
I would say Mythic Quest number 1.
I'm glad none of you said the one that I'm looking forward to. I wouldn't say it's my most anticipated. I would say Cyberpunk 2077 is probably up there, but I would definitely say that the one that I really, really looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to Watch Dogs.
That game was great.
Hey, this is what I told you, right? Like, so Watch Dogs 1, a lot of people bought it and it wasn't very good. I didn't like it. Watch Dogs 2, not a lot of people bought it, but I loved it. I thought it was really good. Those that played it liked it. So Watch Dogs 3, man, I'm super excited about. I know
it looks good.
It does, man. It does, man. It looks great. I gotta say, man, it looks really, really great.
I want to be a spy grandma. I can't wait to do that. That's
if I can get the whole game with her,
with a taser, with a grandma with a taser.
I promise.
And that permadeath, man. They took so many elements from State of Decay, and it seems like the best elements too.
They definitely did it. And I promised Marty Rhiannon that I would bring it up. It is big news in a sense. So the rumor is, and it leaked by the voice actor who plays Ellie, that The Last of Us 2 is coming out in February. Now, the reason I said I don't think that's big news is because we all know it's coming out sometime between February and April, right? I mean, Jason Schreier leaked that about a week ago or so. So I think that he had also heard that through the grapevine. Listen, I'll say this much. It's too early to tell because I haven't seen enough gameplay of either game. And I know you guys, this is going to be a debate all year next year, and I can't wait to get into it. I'm going to go ahead and give the edge of Game of the Year, this is way too early to say. But if it ends up being, it's going to come down to these two. I think The Last of Us 2 edges out over Cyberpunk for Game of the Year right at the end. Just boom. Kind of how like God of War just edged out Red Dead Redemption 2.
Halo's coming out next year, man. Why are you handing out awards?
I love Halo. I do, but you guys, for some reason,
are you handing out awards already, brother?
I've always liked The Last of Us, man. The Last of Us holds a special place with me. I don't know why.
Man, I returned that garbage.
What?
Yes, I did.
What?
And you oh man, Xbot, you're not well, brother.
You said The Last of Us was garbage?
Yeah, dude.
No, he's trolling. I'm gonna save you, Bot. You're trolling.
Slow-mo just turned the car on and sat in the garage. He's like, get out of here.
The very beginning was hot, but man, afterwards, like that, it just got boring.
What about Halo campaign? Have a Halo 5's campaign. What about that?
I said it wasn't, up to par. But guess what? At least they had that fire multiplayer where I spent.
Hey, the Last of Us actually has a really good multiplayer.
Really good.
Yes, it does.
You wouldn't know
I probably should have jumped into that. It probably would have gave me a reason to keep the game.
Uncharted has a great crate simulator.
I love the crate.
Wow.
Uncharted's game gunplay is freaking horrible, man.
I will say
gunplay in that game is so bad.
Z Blackrider's like, Mooch, really? No way. Like, I mean, Cyberpunk, if Cyberpunk wins Game of the Year next year, there's no shock on this end of the microphone. I'm just trying to say to you that I was actually shocked. I don't know if you guys will agree with me or not, but I was shocked that I picked God of War's Game of the Year, but I thought that Red Dead Redemption 2 was going to absolutely wipe the floor with everything, right? That's just Rockstar. And I think everyone's like, yo, CD Projekt Red, they're The Witcher, right? They're this, they're that. But The Last of Us 2, especially the way our boy Neil Druckmann, that guy, you can't spell arrogance without Neil Druckmann. He is so ready to throw that game out. He's being even more cocky than he usually is. So I think that game's going to kill. I think it's going to be amazing. So February, I mean, you guys agreeing with that leak?
Yeah. I mean, I think when Jason Schreier said February, I'm like, all right, it's probably February because that dude, when he normally comes out with stuff, is typically correct. So yeah, I think it's probably February. February and March next year is just going to be crazy. Like I need some of these games to be in Game Pass, so I ain't gotta buy them.
Exactly.
Well, there it is. Yeah, it's
Don't worry about that. They're going in there, man. They are going in.
Slow-mo. You have either Ultimate right now, so you're not gonna.
Yeah, I got Ultimate until
you're not gonna buy
2021.
So you won't buy Gears. You're gonna play it in Game Pass.
Oh yeah, because I get the Ultimate edition of the game early. Yeah,
we all. Yep. Xbot, you'll be playing Gears in Game Pass.
Oh yeah.
Clowns Game Pass for Gears.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crap, Game Pass.
Might as well. Why spend the money if I can just play the Ultimate Edition 4 days early with my Game Pass?
Correct. All day. What about you? What are you doing? Buying it or Game Pass, or you just don't like Gears?
All day they ain't playing it, man.
Okay, all days pause. But I was curious to see because this is an interesting thing because everybody that's on this panel, I can't speak for all day, but if there was no Game Pass, they would have gotten $60 from everybody on this panel, if not
hell yeah.
100.
Hell yeah.
It's interesting. So that's what I'm saying. They've made Game Pass a necessity. This is the hardcore. They're all going to play in Game Pass. Now, a lot of people go, Mooch, they don't care. I know they don't care. That it's their plan. But it's interesting. All day, are you going to be playing Gears 5? How? Game Pass or buying it? Or not at all?
Game Pass PC.
Okay.
Boom. And you know what? And if All Day does it through Steam, that's how they're subsidizing that sales. And matter of fact, now that I think about it, Matt Piscatella came on Brad last year and said that Game Pass actually increases game sales for games that are in there because you get those games on discount, and for some of those games they don't stay there forever. So yeah, I mean that
money.
Yeah, and then also
so they're hoping you double
Game Pass.
They're hoping you double dip then, Slow-mo, right?
Yeah. But then also, with just regular Game Pass, you just get the base game. If you really enjoying that game and they come out with additional DLC and an update, you gotta pay for that. So
it entices you to buy the game at full retail too. So I mean, if you
they're putting the games in Steam. Yeah, of course they're going to do that because that's a whole nother community of gamers. That they just
you say, they're going to get their percentage on that on that game, they're going to get that cut. So that's
yeah,
like
yeah.
selling a game at
There are
Walmart.
tons of PC gamers that hate the Windows Store. They're not going to do Game Pass and have to deal with the Windows Store, but they love Halo. They used to play Halo back in the day. They're going to buy Halo Infinite. They like Gears. They're going to play Gears through Steam. They this is going to happen. It's a guarantee it's going to happen.
I completely agree. And with that, guys, we are at 9 o'clock Eastern time over here. This has been an awesome Crossfire. Everything I wanted from this panel, we got tonight. I think, honestly, I really think it was a fun, great for the gamers to enjoy all the post-show, the actual shows, the stage shows, Bethesda, Microsoft, Ubisoft. They all put on such a great show. We all enjoyed it. Have we had better years? I think most people would say yes. But I think at the same time, it was still great for gamers. But this is a talk show. It's great to kind of just throw opinions out there and see what everybody thinks.
Brother, I will be at E3 2020, baby.
I'll be there too.
I'm going to go ahead and put that in my title then, guys. Expect to see Xbot and all day. Actually, I'm even throwing it out there. Why not? My point being is that I think that E3 was great for everybody. I think next year will be even better. A hardware release year is always kind of tough.
Wait, what did you guys didn't like from E3?
No AAA.
No new IP.
No AAA.
Bleeding
New
Edge.
IP.
No new IP.
Yeah.
It would be my
AAA. Yeah, AAA.
yes.
In my opinion. Yeah.
Yes. You know what I mean? That would be my biggest grief is that everybody does preview E3 shows for 2 weeks, 3 weeks before. I just said, can we please get 2 new AAA IPs shown? I didn't mean gameplay. Could have been CGI. Right. Could have been like what they did with Zelda, right? Like Zelda's coming soon. See you later. That would have been cool. I'm like, all right, that's cool. It's coming. That's cool. Someone's working on something I like.
Bethesda and Ubisoft kind of took the biggest sales.
Yeah, I think Bethesda. Because think about it, Bethesda had to spend.
Right when he came out there with that tired ass brown jacket, I was like,
why does Todd Howard look like Michael J. Fox from the Enchantment Under the Sea dance? Somebody explain that to me.
He looks like if Michael J. Fox and David Hasselhoff had a kid.
He was rocking that members only jacket.
Yeah.
I think my 2 biggest disappointments were no Fable announcement, which doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, just announce the game and put up a graphic of Fable or something. I don't care. Just announce the damn game already.
You know what? We can all agree. I think they need to stop with this fucking Just Dance bullshit.
Oh, Ubisoft?
Dude, every year.
The dancing pandas?
Oh my God.
Every year.
Like, again?
Dude, my kids in Snap, they love that game, man. I don't know. I stay far away.
Right, though. It is it's getting redundant, and it's like it's just a bit much.
Right.
Yeah, I'll also say as a Division fan, I was disappointed in their Division segment. Like when seeing what those episodes were, I'm like, all right, I see why this is free. You remember when they
I say that all the time, Slow-Mo. You get what you pay for, man.
Oh, we got free DLC, and it is free. It should be free.
Sure is.
Yeah, these episodes don't really do much. They got a raid. They said they were going to bring back survival.
You remember that age?
Got that yet?
You remember that age we were all at when we finally found out that the toy and the Happy Meal was really shit? You keep that piece of shit. I'll just take the food. All right, that being said, that's Crap Playing. It's the past 9 o'clock blues, everybody. Thank you. No, with that being said, let me do some outros real quick. I'll start in reverse order here, and I'll go with Slow-Mo. Slow-Mo, thank you so much for being here tonight, buddy. Awesome to have your input, and let people know where they can find you.
Sure, yeah. You can find me on Twitter, same name, Slow-Mo Backslap, and also you can find me and likely all day tomorrow on the Scumcast at 9 p.m. Eastern and on Brat. Typically 9 p.m.s on Wednesdays.
Nice, Slow-Mo. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And then all day, it's been way too long, man. We are not going to wait this long again, man. You're coming back on the show. Well, you just tell me when you're available, and you already got a seat. Thank you for being here, man. Let people know where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter as usual. You can find me on Scumcast tomorrow, and you guys have a good week, man.
Appreciate that all day. Thank you. And then I've got my Italian paisano who's probably been eating halfway through this goddamn thing, and I'm completely jealous of that.
No calzones tonight.
Well, let people know where they can find you, clowns.
Every night, Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern, we do 4 Guys with Quarters. And yeah, so check us out there. We're like all over the internet, iHeartRadio and stuff too.
Appreciate that, clowns. And then I got Xbot 448, which I have a feeling is going to have some kind of a Battletoads emblem starting next week.
You know what, dude? I'll work on it tonight.
I know you are.
It'll be ready for tomorrow's next podcast.
Perfect.
Ew.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody, if you don't know, I do have a small YouTube channel. You might want to go over and
have you
check
seen
it out.
that like to dislike ratio? Fuck.
It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, it's Xbox 448. It is the home of the next podcast. Next podcast every Saturday, 7 p.m. We talk gaming news. We have gameplay going on while we're talking about such things. And you can vote for who had the best gameplay. Tomorrow night, we have our special guest, a huge giver out there in the community. Yobi Dren is going to be hanging out with us as a special guest. It's going to be a lot of fun. Guys, definitely want to tune in tomorrow, 7 p.m.
Appreciate that, Xbox. Shout out to Yobi. He's always great. It helps everybody in the community. Totally appreciate that. And then last but not least, Crap Gamer. Crap, where the hell can they find you this weekend?
Crap Gamer reviews, and we're doing some MSC, I guess.
Yes. All right. Oh, it's gonna be a lot of Oh boy, it's gonna be a hell of a show. It'll be sometime on Sunday, probably around the noon time, 12:30, 12:30.
Should be good though. So
when everybody wakes up, we're trying to get those West Coasters awake, right? All day.
Yeah. They're lazy.
We're trying to get them up.
What,
Yo, guys.
All day. Well,
with that being said, guys, I want to say awesome show again. Thank you so much. We'll see you next Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. The Mooch 78. Peace out, everybody, and good night.
Fuck back.